The awakening square is packed as a giant glowing star signals Judgment Day for every teen's destiny. Red-haired Linhan is hyped after 10 years Iceked. His make-or-break awakening day has finally arrived. In this game reality mashup world, every 18-year-old must awaken a life-defining skill. The system keeps announcing bizarre new classes from chicken farmer to gunner, turning the square into chaotic comedy. Linhan clenches his fists, knowing only a combat class can carry him to greatness. In a world crawling with dungeons and monsters, non-fighters get crushed sooner or later. Mid-power fantasy, Linhan gets shoulder-tapped. It's finally his turn to awaken. Homeroom teacher Yang Xufei frowns, and Linhan realizes stalling now means public humiliation. With Wang Qiang cheering about future monster hunts, Linhan charges into the awakening zone. Has trained relentlessly for a decade, convinced only warriors earn the right to survive. As he steps into the magic array, a cyclone of light erupts. This awakening is clearly no ordinary one. Amid the blazing anomaly, Yang Xufei announces in shock Linhan has drawn a mysterious class. Mysterious classes are ultra-rare, and heaven itself celebrates. Clearly a genius is being born. The system confirms that Linhan successfully becomes the hidden class life sacrificer. Then his heart sinks. That's the ancient ancestor of the notoriously weak support branch. Even the official size such a terrifying anomaly wasted on a nearly useless class. Wang Qiang bombards them with questions after that spectacle. Shouldn't Linhan be absurdly strong? The official explains life sacrificers buff allies with battle hymns. Cool in theory, brutal to level up. To advance, they must absorb catastrophe elements from zones. Even level 60 elites fear. Despite Yang Xufei's comfort, Linhan gloomily opens his status panel to check for any hope. At peak despair, a sudden system message makes him sense real luck has arrived. The message announces a 10,000-fold acceleration system. His long-awaited cheat has awakened. It promises to pick suitable items and enhance them 10,000-fold, no limits attached. Linhan immediately asks if it can boost his class panel too. The system bluntly replies yes and begins upgrading his class on the spot. Post-upgrade, every skill mutates into terrifying forbidden spells, from resurrection to summoning doomsday zones. While Linhan reels from the power spike, Wang Xiang rushes over frantically, calling him back. He suggests they grind a dungeon together to prep for the upcoming college entrance exam. Before plans solidify, a mocking laugh slices through the air. Someone sneers that a trash class like Linhan's dreaming of college is a joke. Gao Song struts over, flaunting his combat class while belittling Linhan's poor background. Insulted to his face, Linhan coldly refuses to accept being labeled useless. Zhao Song keeps taunting, claiming the school genius is nothing but dead weight. Don't arguing, Linhan plants a punch on Gao Song's face and follows with a gut strike before he can react. Zhao Song flies into a wall and rolls in the dust, leaving his lackeys panicking. Eyes blazing cold, Linhan asks who exactly can crush whom with one hand. The underlings scramble to lift a humiliated, flattened Gao Song off the ground. Through the pain, Gao Song vows revenge once he hits level 10. With that weak threat, he retreats with his crew in defeat. Wang Xiang sighs but firmly believes Linhan will become a big shot someday. After enduring mockery all day, Linhan trudges home, heavy-hearted about facing his parents. He fears their disappointment when they learn he awakened a useless support class instead of his warrior dream. But the moment he gets home, his parents have a warm feast ready to celebrate their son officially becoming an adult. Dad raises a toast, while Lin and awkwardly hasn't confessed his awakening result yet. Turns out they already know and still tell him that excellence in any class can lead to success. Touched, Linhan clenches his fists and swears he'll never quit halfway. After dinner, his father hands him a family heirloom box, hinting their ancestors were once big shots. Back in his room, Linhan opens it nervously, sensing destiny-changing loot inside. Inside lies a pricey golden tier mage set starter players would drool on sight. Without hesitation, Linhan orders the system to enhance both items 10,000-fold. The golden gear instantly evolves into legendary tier, boasting absurd lightning defense and damage. Yet to break into tier 3, he must still enter a catastrophe zone to absorb dangerous elements. Linhan checks his phone database, hunting for the perfect elemental farming spot. The data points to Haze Nation, packed with volcanoes, monsters, and constant disasters. Wang Xiang invites him to grind, but Linhan knows his trip is far riskier. He inputs the teleport coordinates and heads straight to perilous Haze Nation. A silver tier boss warning greets him at the entrance, definitely not for pre-second stage rookies. Before he adjusts, a giant frog ambushes him from behind. Linhan raises his legendary shield and realizes his new defense is basically untouchable. The frog roars a sonic blast, rattling his brain though the shield holds firm. The system flags it as a mental attack counter now or get overwhelmed. He chants a battle hymn of chaos power, priming a destructive spell. A colossal lava meteor crashes down, detonating and shaking the entire sea region. Far away in Huiyu City, surveillance detects a sudden forbidden spell energy spike. The coastal defense minister orders Fullaria monitoring to trace the magic source. Assuming hostile action, he pushes the city into combat readiness. Level alerts blare citywide as citizens are ordered to evacuate immediately. Combat squads assemble, bracing for an incoming magical catastrophe. While the city panics, Linhan calmly collects all the loot from his forbidden spell. His experience skyrockets and his bag overflows. This trip is wildly profitable. The system announces a skillbook drop and asks if he wants a 10,000-fold boost. After enhancement, it becomes a legendary skill that enables instant forbidden spell casting. Realizing his absurdly overpowered, Linhan decides to grab the remaining elements and bail. Following the map, he heads to the volcanic zone for the needed fire element. With monsters already incinerated, he easily collects the floating fire element. He then marches into a tornado region to secure the missing wind element. After another magical rampage, Linhan finally seizes the wind element. Eyeing his stuffed inventory and required elements, he happily decides to return. But at the teleport station, an urgent notice declares all routes closed due to combat status. Amid tsunami panic, Linhan freezes, clueless about what just happened. With the station shut, a bystander drags stunned Linhan to shelter as chaos erupts. Hearing the tsunami on Huyu originated from haze, Linhan shivers. Was it his spell? Afraid of being exposed as the disaster's source, he quietly slips away from the crowd. Meanwhile, the entire city defense system enters maximum tension mode. The minister reports the life barrier wall is near collapse 5 minutes before the next assault. He urgently summons all level 30 elites. If the line falls, the city is doomed. As cracks spread across the life barrier wall, the minister knows this is a no-retreat battle. He orders all mages to go full throttle, pushing the barrier forward against the charging tsunami. Despite the warriors' effort, their mana can't build the shield fast enough to outrun the towering wall of water. Watching the hopeless scene, the minister fears Huyu city may vanish today. Suddenly, a glowing staff appears midair, stunning everyone. A blessing battle hymn echoes, instantly restoring mana to all fighters and getting them back on their feet. With that mysterious boost, the final barrier rises just in time before the tsunami crashes in. The minister commands them to hold the line and prepare a teleport gate to shove the disaster back to sea. A colossal spell lifts the tsunami and hurls it away, finally lowering the water level. After flawless coordination, the sea at last returns to calm. The entire city erupts and cheers. They've survived the impossible. From the sky, Linhan quietly observes, relieved the mess is resolved. He reminds himself to be careful. His forbidden spell nearly deleted a whole city. After calming his worried mother on the phone, Linhan prepares to head home. The next day, he returns to the class advancement hall to accept his Tier 2 breakthrough quest. Offered a choice between designated or random missions, Linhan instantly picks random. He places his hand on the energy orb, letting the system assign his advancement task. The clerk freezes the system, gives Linhan and Shrank quest to slay an abyss monster. Under everyone's horrified gaze, Linhan calmly accepts the lethal mission. The clerk urges him to quit. His class is too weak for Shrank, but Linhan refuses. His Shrank quest flashes across the plaza screen, igniting heated gossip. Many grow curious, having never heard of life sacrificer, suspecting a rare hidden class. An arrogant group approaches, offering to recruit Linhan for the mission. He coldly declines, no strings attached, and he trusts his own power. A pink-haired punk explodes in anger and swings a fist to teach him a lesson. Linhan counters instantly, kicking him flat before the stunned crowd. Onlookers gasp, this is nothing like a so-called weak class. Humiliated, the pink-haired guy howls in rage at losing to a useless nobody. He swears revenge from the shadows, glaring hatefully at Linhan's back. Unbothered by new enemies, Linhan heads to the trade market to sell loot. Dumping a mountain of gear on the table, he shocks the staff into calling the manager. Manager Liu, a level 46 appraiser, personally arrives to inspect the haul. After appraisal, he pays over 100 million dragon crystals for Linhan's 2 legendary items. Back home, Linhan upgrades his skill book into Eye of Heaven, granting absolute danger detection before entering the underground city. At the underground city's intel center, he buys data on the Abyss Apostle as Shrank target. Gazing at the bustling underground city, Linhan can't believe it was once monster-infested. A flicker of killing intent makes him wary someone with ill intent is tailing him. Following the intel trail, Linhan quickly tracks the Abyss Apostle's latest location. But upon arrival, a massive beast roars and charges straight at him. Unfazed, Linhan smirks, might as well warm up on this monster first. A bolt of lightning crashes down, scorching the beast's body. Yet it survives and counterattacks hard enough to blast Linhan backward. As he analyzes its strength, a mocking voice drifts from the shadows. A mercenary steps out, claiming ties to the 3 societies and announcing hell, kill Linhan and loot everything. Linhan coolly replies that targeting a rich man like him shows a death wish. The mercenary flaunts his second stage power, slays the beast effortlessly, and boasts that killing Linhan will be just as easy. But Linhan already planned ahead and instantly activates the forbidden spell Descent into Corruption. The mercenaries' 2 underlings lose their sanity and turn on their own boss. They bite and claw like madmen, leaving the leader panicked and utterly confused. Linhan watches coldly. This trap was set long ago. Hearing has lost control of his own men, the mercenary can't believe it. Linhan follows up by deploying a chaos domain to end things cleanly. Forbidden lightning crashes down, and the mercenary screams before realizing he messed with the wrong guy. The cave trembles violently from the aftershock of the spell. Stepping out of the rubble, Linhan realizes he's basically collapsed the entire underground city sector. At the surveillance center, devices detect terrifying mana fluctuations identical to a forbidden spell. The minister fumes. The same mystery caster who caused the tsunami has struck again. He orders an emergency evacuation as the underground city risks total collapse. Higher-ups even prepare to request support from a supreme powerhouse. The crisis is out of control. Underground, civilians flee in panic as sections of the city cave in. Not wanting innocent blood on his hands, Linhan casts the forbidden spell Angelic Protection over the whole city. Those who just died are suddenly revived, making everyone think they've witnessed a miracle. A rescue squad led by Sun Hu rushes into the ruins to save survivors. Hearing talk of an angel, Sun Hu becomes convinced a hidden powerhouse is behind it all. Standing right beside him, Lin Han plays invisible and slips away before being exposed. He dashes to the class advancement center to finalize his quest before trouble finds him. The clerk is stunned that Lin Han cleared the Abyss Apostle mission so quickly. Rumors spread people assume he's a genius secretly groomed by a major clan. Lin Han humbly claims he just got lucky with help from 2 experts. Not wanting attention, he urges the clerk to proceed with the advancement. As he touches the energy orb, he orders a 10,000-fold skill enhancement. The new skills instantly evolve into a forbidden tier light defense and a dark stealth domain. With both ultimate defense and escape tools, Lin Han knows dungeon runs just got easy. But then Sun Hu announces a full lockdown of the underground city to hunt the mysterious powerhouse. Hearing about the lockdown, Lin Han worries he still lacks materials for his 3rd advancement. With no choice, he decides to visit Manager Lu for clues about the disaster's origin. Seeing his VIP customer, Manager Lu greets Lin Han warmly, knowing he has no ordinary buyer. He even presents a goods list and promises discounts to maintain ties. Lin Han skips the merchandise and bluntly asks about intel on the disaster's source. Manager Lu immediately senses a big deal and boasts his merchant guild always has premium information. But upon hearing the specifics, his expression stiffens. The intel is extremely rare. To force the deal, Lin Han offers an epic tier item as trade. Tempted by the price, Manager Lu reveals that upcoming auction intel will cover the disaster's origin. Unsatisfied, Lin Han pushes for more since that news will go public anyway. Manager Lu signals to bring out a special item to retain this major client. A cloth-covered mysterious object is presented, piquing Lin Han's curiosity. When unveiled, dazzling light floods the entire room. It's a teleportation array leading to a rare silver tier dungeon for rapid leveling. Realizing its value, Lin Han is pleased it lets him grind safely within the city. After sealing the deal, Lin Han leaves the guild exhilarated. Manager Lu admits he invested heavily, sensing Lin Han is about to complete a rare 2nd advancement. Standing before the silver dungeon hall, Lin Han wonders who to bring along. Just then, his phone rings. It's Wang Xuang. Wang Xuang complains that the city lockdown means he can't go out to grind levels. Hearing that, Lin Han immediately invites Wang Xuang to grind the silver dungeon together. At the word silver dungeon, Wang Xuang nearly drops his beer, joking that Lin Han must have found a rich sugar mommy. After some banter, they agree to meet at the dungeon entrance the next morning. By dawn, Wang Xuang is already waiting, practically vibrating with excitement. Lin Han arrives and teases him for being way too hype. Right then, a group from their old school shows up and starts mocking. They sneer that a support like Lin Han entering a silver dungeon is basically suicide. Wang Xiang bristles to fight, but Lin Han stops him. He knows the real mastermind isn't out yet. Lin Han coolly jabs at their pride, making them even angrier. He stares into the crowd and calls the hidden puppet master to step forward. Unable to hide, Gao Song walks out wearing a provocative grin. He mocks that a weak support like Lin Han entering the dungeon is just delivering himself to death. Seeing Wang Xiang furious, Lin Han smiles and says the face slapping is his job. When Zhao Song's lackey charges, Lin Han casually swats his weapon flying. He grabs the guy by the collar and hurls him into the crowd, toppling the whole group. The onlookers are stunned. This raw strength is nothing like a normal support. Lin Han strides toward Gao Song, who instantly panics. After a few moves, Gao Song ends up tied and hung from a rock ledge in pure humiliation. Lesson delivered, Lin Han and Wang Xiang enter the Silver Dungeon's ancient battlefield. No sooner are they alert than a corpse hand bursts from the ground, gripping Wang Xiang's leg. Staying calm, Wang Xiang tells Lin Han to stay back. His card masterclass specializes in mob clearing. Glowing cards fly out in waves, sweeping away surrounding monsters as he smugly shows off. Turning around, he sees Lin Han bare-handedly crushing monsters, casually saying he was just a bit slower. Wang Xiang gapes, since when does a healer punch mobs to death? Lin Han jokes about being born with divine strength, saying one forbidden spell could have wiped the dungeon if he dared. Not wanting to crush his friend's morale, Lin Han suggests they split up to clear faster. Wang Xiang regains confidence, ready to mow down the next wave. He throws divine thunder cards, summoning lightning into the monster ranks. Thunder tears across the ancient battlefield, erasing foes in seconds. But when Lin Han suddenly pulls him back warily, Wang Xiang doesn't get it. A giant hammer crashes down exactly where they had just stood. A colossal mad bull appears, an unmistakable hidden boss. Lin Han warns it's no pushover, while Wang Xiang prepares ranged chip damage. Before any plan unfolds, Lin Han charges the boss like a berserk warrior. Grappling the beast, he yells for Wang Xiang to hurry with support spells. Thunder cards rain down nonstop, backing Lin Han in close combat. Wang Xiang shouts the boss is about to unleash its ultimate as its HP hits rock bottom. The mad bull roars wildly, its massive hammer sweeping everything around. Instead of dodging, Lin Han dives in and throws a full-force punch at its head. After a thunderous blast, he calmly steps out of the dust victorious. Watching a healer solo a boss, Wang Xiang can only call it insane. The system announces Team Lin Han cleared the dungeon in record time, triggering a hidden quest. Outside, Gao Song sees the leaderboard and turns pale in disbelief. Time passes, and the two stand before a school gate packed with college entrance examinees. Right then, Gao Song reappears with that same taunting smile. Wang Xiang instantly mocks him about being hung from a cliff in shame. Furious, Gao Song boasts has completed his second advancement and vows revenge. Wang Xiang knows he can't beat a second advancement, but if Gao Song targets Lin Han, he's digging his own grave. The bell rings and the arena falls silent as the match is about to begin. The referee declares only banned drugs are forbidden, anything else goes as long as you defeat your opponent. Lin Han pats his friend's shoulder and steps forward, ready to crush his foe. In round 1, Lin Han's opponent is none other than Gao Song. Zhao Song instantly accuses Lin Han of cheating to set that dungeon record. The referee coldly dismisses it. No one cheats under his watch. Still whining, Gao Song declares if Lin Han loses, all his past glory was fake. Provoked enough, Lin Han accepts a public honor bet on the spot. Gao Song activates his second advancement skill, vanishing like a ghost. But with Eye of Heaven, Lin Han tracks every sneaky move. Zhao Song attacks nonstop, yet Lin Han dodges everything, sending him into panic. After countless misses, Gao Song pants, clueless why he can't land a hit. Lin Han calmly remarks that Gao Song's speed looks turtle-tier to him. From the stands, Wang Xiang laughs and adds fuel to the burn. Humiliated, Gao Song accuses Lin Han of doping. The referee shuts it down again. No rule breaking here. Cornered, Gao Song screams he still has a trump card. He leaps up, launching a spiraling killing strike. Lin Han channels power into his fist, ready to counter. But at that moment, the referee signals to stop the match. Understanding instantly, Lin Han pulls his punch back. Zhao Song rages that he would have won if not interrupted. The referee states coldly that without intervention, Gao Song's heart would have been punched through. Zhao Song breaks into cold sweat, legs trembling. The referee declares Lin Han the winner. Refusing defeat, Gao Song lunges for one last desperate attack. Lin Han knocks him out cold with a single punch. Even the referee wonders if this power really belongs to a support class. Lin Han jokes that Gao Song was just pretending to faint. Being carried away, Gao Song still screams vows of future revenge. Wang Qiang runs up laughing, applauding the flawless face slap. The referee then calls Wang Qiang and 3 others for the next free-for-all round. Lin Han reminds his friend to stay sharp. It's a multi-person brawl. Wang Qiang steps onto the arena, eager to showcase the card master's might. Opponent Zhang Shaoan schemes with teammates to eliminate the strongest first. One member, Xu Jiamei, reveals she's a healer willing to side with anyone. Hearing that, Zhang Shaoan decides to remove this variable. He suddenly attacks Xu Jiamei to force her allegiance. Under pressure, Xu Jiamei joins his side. But Wang Xiang blocks the strike with a card and steps forward. He coldly states he hates opportunists who switch sides for gain. Provoked, Zhang Shaoan charges in. Wang Xiang smiles. He never believed he'd lose this. Suddenly, Xu Jiamei casts hypnosis, weighing down Wang Xiang's body. Just as a blade moves to finish him, an automatic card flies up to block. Regaining clarity, Wang Qiang reveals his cards handle both offense and defense. 2 elders in the stands praise his combat talent. Wang Qiang unleashes a barrage of elemental cards across the arena. Xu Jiamei counters with illusions, redirecting the attacks. Realizing the visual trick, Wang Xiang shuts his eyes and fires across the whole stage. The reckless tactic instantly eliminates Xu Jiamei. At once, Li Yunyan casts Spring Magic, fully restoring Wang Xiang's injuries. Seeing his power surge, Zhang Shaoan stares in disbelief while Wang Qiang laughs, sensing victory. 5 cards spin wildly before detonating, shaking the entire arena. Unable to withstand the blast, Zhang Shaoan collapses unconscious. Match decided. The referee announces Wang Qiang's victory. He advances past round 1. But moments later, Wang Qiang clutches his stomach in agony. The price of victory hits hard. An hour later, round 2 begins. Lin Han steps up only to face 3 opponents at once. Zhang Tian bluntly declares that since Lin Han is too strong, the 3 will team up to eliminate him first. As their chant ends, the trio's aura explodes. They clearly came prepared to hunt Lin Han. Dooley fires an arrow straight at Lin Han, but he smirks, confident in his speed. Dooley scoffs, dodge 1 arrow. Try surviving a full coverage barrage. Hundreds of arrows rain down, sealing every inch around Lin Han. He calculates escape routes instantly, but just as he moves, his legs lock up. Looking down, he finds binding ropes tight around him. Hu Sheng laughs, proud of his anti-dodge restraint skill. The 3 unleash full-force attacks, smoke and debris swallowing Lin Han's position. When the dust clears, Lin Han steps out unharmed, holding the broken rope, leaving Hu Sheng stunned. He casually remarks the rope looked scary, but snaps with a little strength, and the arrow rain only stung a bit. After tanking everything, Lin Han smiles coldly. Now it's his turn. He charges forward but slams into an invisible wall. Zhang Tian smugly reveals he's a painter, having drawn a light prison to trap Lin Han for target practice. On cue, Hu Sheng swings his whip, unleashing the killing serpent lash to crush the trapped target. Dooley draws her trump card arrow, clearly aiming to end it now. Contrary to expectations, Lin Han doesn't panic. He simply punches the wall. Zhang Tian's sneer freezes. Cracks suddenly spread across the barrier. Lin Han calmly notes 1 punch isn't enough, so hell, just throw a few more. After a barrage of fists, the light prison shatters, and Lin Han bursts out with blazing battle intent. Refusing defeat, Dooley screams and fires her ultimate killing arrow. Hu Sheng unleashes his strongest technique, pouring everything into the finisher. Lin Han raises both hands and blocks both skills outright, raw strength leaving everyone speechless. He even chuckles, praising their teamwork and joking he almost lost. The trio can only laugh bitterly. They haven't even seen him use a single skill. Lin Han teases them not to trash talk just because they can't win. 0 pressure detected. Crushed by the power gap, all 3 surrender to the referee. They leap off the arena to avoid further beating, leaving Lin Han chuckling helplessly. In the medical ward, Wang Qiang lies battered on a stretcher, groaning in pain. Lin Han notices the wounds are fresh. His friend just lost another match. Wang Qiang sighs that he faced a monster and lost before even seeing the guy clearly. Hearing the name Yuan Si, Lin Han memorizes it. Revenge is scheduled. Time passes and the arena atmosphere grows increasingly intense. In match 3, Lin Han wins effortlessly, overwhelming his opponent. Match 4 ends just as fast, total domination, and he advances to the finals. The final begins. Lin Han coldly faces Yuan Si, determined to settle Wang Qiang's debt. Yuanxi sneers that Yu City must be out of talent to let a second advancement priest reach the finals. Annoyed by the arrogance and sensing Yuanxi isn't local, Linhan frowns. Without further talk, Yuanxi erupts with power, splitting into shadowy afterimages across the arena. Black mist spreads rapidly, turning the stage into his personal hunting ground. A silent strike shoots from the fog, but Linhan dodges instantly and detects the flaw. Yuanxi coldly laughs. Sooner or later, Linhan will fall to his speed and silent attacks. After a few observations, Linhan deciphers the skill's mechanism and throws a punch faster than Yuanxi's movement. The blow sends Yuanxi flying dozens of meters, stunned that his position was completely exposed. Linhan calmly explains he'd already guessed Yuanxi was fog-hopping for sneak attacks from the very first strike. Yuanxi grudgingly admits Linhan's combat talent is terrifying, but insists there's no way he's winning this. Linhan smirks and asks how many more punches that flimsy body can actually handle. Yuanxi charges again on a weird trajectory, bragging that his skill doesn't fight solo. Linhan instantly senses something off. Two identical Yuanxi auras pop up. A blade flashes across Linhan's shoulder, proving Yuanxi has switched to a twin-body tactic. Linhan stays chill, explodes with power, and grabs both incoming bodies at once. Yuanxi panics as his speed still isn't enough, while Linhan coolly notes the power gap is massive. Linhan swings the two bodies like warhammers, scaring Yuanxi into screaming surrender. After dropping him, Linhan coldly warns him to clean up his mouth next time or else. The referee declares Yuanxi unable to fight, crowning Linhan the exam champion. An elder steps up to award him, congratulating Linhan as this year's top scholar of Yu City. Linhan's eyes sparkle at the prize, of Villa Deed, a skill book, and a fat cash bonus. The elder says the government happily invests in strong youth to guard the city's future. The crowd erupts, and one girl even yells she wants Linhan's baby just for villa access. After the ceremony, the exam ends and academies start recruiting on the spot. Qingyan Academy's rep kicks things off with a flashy introduction. Shaming and Lian Academies quickly follow, scrambling for top talent. Jion and Chanqi Academies join in, turning recruitment into total chaos. Yet standing aside, Linhan realizes he hasn't received a single offer. He explains the academies think body training over skill research is the wrong path. His friend can only laugh bitterly. Linhan's physique definitely doesn't scream ritual priest. Linhan shrugs it off, deciding academy life might cramp his personal path anyway. Far away on a mountain, the famed Master Lin Tian arrives in Yu City to probe a mystery. After inspecting the scene, he detects traces of a mysterious powerhouse even the Empire can't identify. Meanwhile at home, Linhan hears on the news that Lin Tian has arrived in the city. He nearly chokes on his food, worried that powerhouse might be hunting him. Right then, his phone rings. It's the familiar Director Liu. Director Liu excitedly says they finally have news about the calamity source Linhan seeks. Intelligence suggests the calamity source will soon appear in Yanyan City. Linhan immediately decides to set off. This could reshape his power path. Boss Tian angrily warns someone to stop investigating Linhan, his gut screaming the kid is dangerous. The other person scoffs, claiming it's just an investment in a young genius, no big deal. Boss Tian insists that digging into Linhan further might invite serious trouble. Deep in Jingyang Forest, the gem-like woods glitter brilliantly under the sun. Linhan checks his map on his phone, confirming he's reached the right spot. Suddenly, a girl's frustrated voice echoes she's struggling against a monster she can't break. A petite girl dashes through the forest in panic, sweat pouring as a monster chases her. Spotting Linhan standing still, she yells for him to run. There's a silver tier boss behind her. Linhan eyes the monster, wondering if meeting a boss at the forest edge is lucky or cursed. Seeing the girl deliberately taunt the monster away, Linhan notes she's actually pretty kind-hearted. Just as the monster is about to swallow her, Linhan flashes in and grabs its tongue mid-lunge. He casually says it's not a silver tier boss but gold tier, then cheekily asks how she plans to repay him. The monster thrashes wildly, but Linhan smacks it flying with one heavy blow. The girl gawks at his strength and immediately asks to team up. Linhan hesitates since his mission's dangerous, but asks her name first. She introduces herself as Du Wanding, a shape-shifting mage, and Linhan agrees to take her along for now. To stay low-key, Linhan lies that his name is Wang Xiang and has from another city. Du Wanding instantly idolizes him, pestering for power secrets while he awkwardly laughs it off. He claims he's older than he looks to justify his absurd strength. She sighs that being a mage burns cash, so she came to Jingyang Forest to hunt for luck. Linhan is about to reply when he senses danger approaching and warns her. A gold-tier bloodthirsty gorilla appears, pounding its chest and roaring fiercely. Du Wanding breaks into a cold sweat, shocked such a monster lurks here. Linhan steps in front of her calmly, telling her to stay behind him. The gorilla throws a devastating punch, but Linhan dodges lightly and counters in a flash. Then a pack of red bronze demonic wolves with blazing red eyes emerges from afar. Trapped between two monster groups, Du Wanding clings to Linhan, asking if they're doomed. Linhan just frowns, saying this tiny hassle isn't enough to trouble him. He grabs the gorilla and hurls it into the wolf pack, turning it into chaotic carnage. Watching this, Du Wanding turns into a fangirl, clapping and praising the big boss. But Linhan notices today's high-level monster activity is unusually abnormal. He suspects an incoming earthquake is driving deep forest beasts outward. Meanwhile, the girl carefree believes with a big boss around, no boss monster matters. Linhan makes up a story that an ultra-powerful expert is coming, so he must stay and fight. He tells Du Wanding to leave the forest immediately to avoid being dragged into battle. After reassuring her, Linhan literally tosses her toward the exit to ensure she leaves. Seeing her gone, he sighs in relief, finally time to use a forbidden spell. By the lakeside, he raises his staff and begins casting the forbidden spell Chaos Domain. Instantly, countless crimson flames rain from the sky, swallowing all of Jingyang Forest. From afar, Duwanding stares wide-eyed, recognizing the apocalyptic scene as a legendary forbidden spell. After it lands, the earth quakes violently, water and stone splitting as disaster descends. Even Lin Han is slightly shaken, but comforts himself that obtaining the calamity source makes it worth it. In Yanyan City's investigation department, an urgent report arrives about abnormal forbidden spell energy in Jingyang Forest. The minister jumps up and orders Senior Zilin to handle it immediately. Zilin appears swiftly, eyes sharp upon hearing two experts are battling in the forest. He came to inspect an earthquake, not a forbidden spell mess, making things complicated. Though accepting the mission, Zilin feels uneasy. The spell's aura surpasses even supreme level power. Meanwhile, Lin Han stands in the forest happily holding the calamity source mission accomplished. Suddenly, his detection device alarms as several powerful auras approach fast. Knowing he can't escape if sealed in, Lin Han activates an emergency teleport device. As he triggers it, he prays it works before they lock down the space. Outside, patrol teams report empty sectors until finally locating the target. But the moment they confirm it, a blue beam shoots straight into the sky. The patrol fumes, realizing the enemy escaped with an ultra-rare handheld teleportation array. The next morning, Lin Han is calmly brushing his teeth when his phone rings. Manager Lu calls to report a major incident in Yanyan City last night. He explains there was an earthquake, and a mysterious expert cast a forbidden spell. Hearing this, Lin Han almost laughs bitterly. The culprit was none other than himself. Manager Lu adds has just received fresh intel on the calamity source, so he called immediately. After hanging up, Lin Han decides that with the calamity source in hand, it's time for his third job advancement. At the advancement hall, staff are stunned his attempting third advancement, only half a month after the second. Lin Han pats his chest confidently, claiming collecting the calamity source was child's play. The crowd buzzes. His leveling speed is basically insane. The staff ask him to place his hand on the device for system verification and mission assignment. The crystal ball glows, revealing in Shrank task retrieve the forest guardian's heart from Iron Forest. Lin Han frowns at such a brutal task for a ritual priest, but accepts anyway. Without hesitation, he confirms the third advancement mission. Manager Lu smiles knowingly. Lin Han is clearly about to stir up business again. Lin Han bluntly says he needs gear and potions since the mission takes place in Yanyan. Hearing that, Manager Lu suspects last night's calamity source and earthquake might involve him. To deflect, Lin Han sighs and claims his mysterious master secured the calamity source. Mention of a master convinces Manager Lu that a terrifying powerhouse backs Lin Han. He produces a treasure, a disguise mask that lets the wearer become someone else for trade. After fierce bargaining, they settle on 3 million for the item. Secretly, the system activates and upgrades the mask into a legendary item, the Freedom Divine Mask. Lin Han instantly grasps its true value. He can now copy not just appearances but abilities. He immediately plans to impersonate Gao Song to create himself a perfect alibi. The next morning, disguised as Gao Song, Lin Han leisurely appears in Yanyan City. In an alley, he removes the mask and grins. His identity cover is flawless. At a tavern, Lin Han secretly slips sleeping powder into a Liang's drink to strengthen his alibi. After drugging him, Lin Han even transforms into a Liang, then poses as Zhao Song escorting the drunk to the counter. He books a luxury room with a VIP card and tells the manager to let A Liang sleep it off. Finished, Lin Han turns back into Gao Song and leaves, confident no one can trace him. At the Iron Forest dungeon entrance, a young man pats his shoulder and invites him to form a team. The man introduces himself as Gao Song, a 27-year-old assassin, and asks Lin Han's class and level. Lin Han lies again, calls himself Wang Qian, a level 30 guardian knight, claiming more teammates are coming. Just then, a familiar female voice makes Lin Han turn around. It's Ga Liang, the referee who once witnessed his battle. She introduces the final member, Duwanding, the shapeshifting mage. They explain this mission also involves investigation, since someone saw experts battling in the forest before. Lin Han can only sigh internally as the expert in question. To avoid suspicion, he quickly urges the team into the dungeon. Upon entering Iron Forest, the eerie silence makes everyone uneasy. Lin Han grows alert. The quiet is far too abnormal. Soon, a steel-striped tiger silently appears among the trees. A closer look reveals not one, but an entire pack encircling them. Zhao Song orders defensive positions to maintain formation. Moving like the wind, Gao Song slashes down multiple tigers with assassin speed. But just as the formation stabilizes, a massive shadow crashes down from above. It's a gold-tier steel-striped Tiger King, and the team's faces pale instantly. Knowing brute force won't work, Wang Qian decides to hold the boss while others flee. The team scatters in 4 directions to escape the Tiger King's pursuit. Reaching a secluded spot, Lin Han decides to use the Divine Mask to create a mysterious expert identity. He transforms into a mysterious old man, preparing to rescue them and mislead the investigation. Elsewhere, Wang Qian barely escapes the Tiger King, only to encounter a gold-tier Night Shadow Wolf. He hurls his shield as a weapon, knocking the wolf off balance. Zhao Song seizes the opening and delivers a fatal strike, finishing the Night Shadow Wolf. Hiding in a tree, Lin Han appraises the wolf's pelt as highly valuable. He jumps down as the mysterious old man and casually asks for the wolf's skin. The two are shocked they never sensed him approach. Wang Qian flares up, arguing they risked their lives for that loot. Lin Han coldly replies that if they want yield, strength will decide. The pair immediately join forces to attack the old man. With a single move, Lin Han knocks them both down, leaving zero resistance. Realizing the gap, they obediently hand over the Night Shadow Wolf pelt. Loot secured, Lin Han heads deeper into the forest to finish his mission. Traveling solo quickly draws the attention of nearby monsters. Sadly for them, they have no clue his defense is nearly unbreakable. Grinning, Lin Han punches through every monster that dares approach. His smile fades when a massive shadow suddenly looms ahead. The forest overlord appears, 3 demon ape, mastermind of the monkey ambush. Facing a strong foe, Lin Han feels not fear but rising battle intent before advancement. He charges, throwing a spell-infused punch straight at the ape. The beast reacts instantly, leaping aside, which only excites Lin Han more. Nearby monkeys rush in, wielding giant tree trunks to aid their leader. Lin Han shatters a trunk with one punch and blasts the 3-eyed demon ape dead on the spot. Hearing teammates approach, he hides in the bushes to avoid exposure. When the group arrives, they're stunned to see the ape lord's corpse. Noticing the punch marks, Lin Wanning suspects this style resembles expert Wang Qiong. Lin Han frowns, this girl nearly figures him out every time. A teammate anxiously asks why Gao Lang hasn't appeared yet. Lin Han hears it all but stays hidden, too many eyes around. He quietly ventures deeper to find the forest guardian's heart. Soon, a colossal platinum-tier forest guardian emerges. It lashes out with razor vines, forcing Lin Han to dodge repeatedly. Midair, he slips and gets his limbs tightly bound by vines. Lin Han sneers and flexes, tearing the vines apart with sheer physical power. Seeing vines fail, the guardian commands roots and summons beasts. Within moments, hundreds of monsters swarm and encircle Lin Han. He remains calm, only the leader truly matters. In the distance, Si Lin Tian and his group sense tremors and rush over. Knowing the Archmage is nearing, Lin Han decides to end it fast. He raises his staff and directly casts the forbidden spell Chaos Domain. The sky erupts in light as massive energy rings crash down upon the forest. Watching from afar, the team panics. They recognize a forbidden spell. The energy wave nearly sweeps them away, but Si Lin Tian blocks it just in time. He exhales in relief, confirming a mysterious expert is indeed battling here. Everyone recounts the tremors and forbidden spell they just witnessed. Lin Wanning worries aloud. Teammate Gao Lang still hasn't returned. Si Lin Tian dashes into the forest at a speed that stuns everyone. Meanwhile, Lin Han secures the guardian's heart, but senses the powerhouse closing in. Unable to teleport, he contacts the Huyu Exchange to set up a cover plan. Director Liu agrees to purchase the guardian's heart and asks about delivery. Lin Han instructs him to leave cash under a tree outside the forest at dawn, no tracking allowed. He plans to buy it back later, erasing all suspicion. Meanwhile, Si Lin Tian passes frozen monsters, growing more curious about the hidden expert. He ventures deeper and discovers a massive crater. There, he finds Gao Song frozen on a tree, actually Lin Han in disguise. After hearing the vague explanation, Si Lin Tian half believes it but still smells coincidence. Rejoining the team, Lin Han pretends he barely survived, then quickly leaves to submit his mission. When Lin Wanning returns asking why they're still here, the 2 guards mumble and retreat fast. Si Lin Tian orders Gao Song to be tailed. Something about him feels off. A subordinate immediately shadows him from the trees, watching every move. Lin Han notices the tail but acts calm, curious how long they can keep up. Suddenly he bursts forward like lightning, shaking the tracker in an instant. The next morning, Lin Han wakes in his room as if last night never happened. Yet one glance out the window tells him the air is thick with surveillance. Hidden experts sweep the city, checking every suspicious figure. With a quick scan, Lin Han senses at least 5 public security elites monitoring nearby. Though aware, he sticks to his routine to avoid slipping up. Mid-toothbrush, his phone rings. It's Director Liu. Director Liu brings good news: they've secured the Guardian's heart. Lin Han feigns surprise and decides to inspect it, reinforcing his cover. After preparing, he heads swiftly to the exchange. A plainclothes officer trails him step by step. Command on the other end notes his calmness is even more suspicious. At the exchange, Director Liu waits warmly to greet him. He escorts Lin Han into a VIP room to view the item. 2 officers watch from outside with binoculars but lack authority to barge in. Inside, Director Liu opens the box. The Guardian's heart rests within. Lin Han produces 2 more items, claiming his master wishes to sell them. Appraisal reveals both are ultra-rare legendary equipment, stunning Director Liu. He grows curious about the mysterious master casually offering such treasures. Lin Han spins a tale of a reclusive powerhouse unwilling to reveal himself. He also asks Director Liu to handle the watchers outside. Security immediately blocks the VIP entrance from intrusion. The 2 officers protest angrily but lack clearance to enter. Director Liu personally drives them off, telling them to send higher-ups if they want trouble. Before leaving, Lin Han waves teasingly, infuriating the officers further. Watching him go, Director Liu realizes Lin Han is heading straight to the advancement hall. At the hall, the female clerk instantly recognizes Champion Lin Han. He cheerfully says has obtained the advancement item and wants to proceed immediately. The clerk promptly activates the advancement space. Inside the ritual, 2 massive energy streams spiral around Lin Han. They tear at his body, a final trial before a new realm. Enduring excruciating pain, Lin Han completes his 3rd advancement. His status panel reveals he is now a 3rd advancement Sacred Altar Priest with 2 new forbidden domains. Lin Han realizes he can now turn calamity power into absolute combat advantage. The system publicly announces his successful advancement. The crowd is stunned. Priests are rare, and none in history reached 3rd advancement. As the notice shows Lin Han topping the exam, fans erupt in hysteria. While chatter rages, Lin Han exits unaware, as the center of attention. Seeing the crowd staring like predators, the post-upgrade weakened Lin Han warily asks what they want. Before he finishes, fans swarm for autographs scarier than monster chases. After third advancement, his fame explodes. Fans scream his name outside daily. Driven mad by the noise, Lin Han dons a cloak, plotting a stealthy escape from the crowd. He tells his parents to deny everything if fans show up. Fame is officially a nightmare. Lin Han vaults out the back window to escape, only to land in front of a girl lying in wait. She screams the alarm, unleashing a fan stampede while his parents watch their son flee for dear life. After painfully shaking them off, Lin Han sighs in relief, then remembers the important auction. At the Huyu auction entrance, he runs into an acquaintance, and the vibe turns icy. Zhao Song sneers that lowborn Lin Han isn't qualified for a high-end auction. The staff bow respectfully, saying Director Lu awaits him, instantly shutting Gao Song up. Lin Han deliberately shoulder-checks Gao Song and strolls inside like a walking slap. Furious, Gao Song punches a subordinate, baffled how country bumpkin Lin Han has such status. Inside, Director Lu personally greets him and seats him in the best spot. He even hands over a deposit for Lin Han's 2 items, proving the guild values him highly. The auction begins, the host declaring today's lots exceptionally valuable. First up, gold-tier steel gloves, boosting endurance, instantly drawing attention. Starting above $1 million, bidding heats up fast, no one wants to miss out. The gloves close at $2.3 million, showing gold gear scarce as gold itself. Director Lu warns Lin Han to watch the 5 VP rooms of major clans if eyeing big prizes. He explains they're the Empire's 5 great families, absurdly rich and auction dominators. Lin Han only smirks once he wants something, no rival gets it easily. The highlight appears a Pass to Ruin 0.3, opening only once every 30 years. Limited to those under 30, its starting bid instantly jumps to 10 million. The crowd goes bidding crazy, numbers soaring into the tens of millions. Seeing rare opportunity, Lin Han slams down 80 million. This ruin is non-negotiable. In VIP, young Master joins the fray after his sister permits a higher bid. Director Li warns his the Ma clan's genius, advising caution for the sake of relations. Knowing the Ma clan's wealth, Lin Han still raises to 150 million. Full frontal clash. When Ma Tianxing pushes further, Lin Han coldly shoots to 200 million, refusing to save face for anyone. Humiliated publicly, Ma Tianxing stands, memorizing the face, daring to oppose him. The host slams the hammer. 200 million. The mysterious upstairs guest wins the pass. Director Lu sweats, knowing the Ma clan won't forget this, but Lin Han remains chill. They then discuss gear sales, and Lin Han quickly secures a deal to supply 2 more sets. To avoid attention when his items go up, Director Lu moves him into an internal VIP room. As they sip tea awaiting the next lots, a receptionist rushes in with urgent news. Ma Tianxing even offers 50 million compensation for the pass, but Lin Han doesn't budge. The hall burns with tension, paddles flying in a full-blown money war. Lin Han's 2 legendary items sell for 6 and 30 million. His cut alone could crown him rich. Director Lu says long-term partnership means more billions, but Lin Han worries about Ma clan retaliation. Reading him instantly, Director Lu promises Tianxi Pavilion experts will secretly guard him for 3 days. Leaving the auction, Lin Han slips into a quiet alley, thinking he's safe. His battle instinct screams 4 shadows are tailing him. Turning back, Lin Han understands troubles arrive. They clearly won't let him leave easily. The group claims to be from the Ma clan, saying they tracked every auction guest and pegged him as the mystery bidder. Pretending fear, Lin Han still bluntly declares the Ruin Noble 3 pass is non-transferable. They offer 100 million extra to buy it back, only confirming how priceless it really is. Ma Tianxing steps out to mediate, saying the Ma clan seeks cooperation and can even share the ruin. Lin Han teases on purpose, enraging her brother until she hastily reins things in. He flicks his cloak aside and challenges them. If they want it, come take it. The provocation ignites conflict. The Ma clan lunges to rip off his cloak. Before they can touch him, a terrifying gust blasts them flying backward. A cold female voice asks why they've stopped, freezing everyone stiff. Lin Han instantly knows this is the Tianxi Pavilion expert assigned to guard him. Fei Hua coolly recites the rule: auction clients are untouchable for 3 days. Realizing they've hit iron law, Ma Tianxing apologizes and drags her brother away. Watching her handle it cleanly, Lin Han knows this woman is no simple bodyguard. He casually invites Fei Hua to leave with him like old friends. He even points out other lurking spies, hoping for a bonus cleanup. Fei Hua shrugs, no payment, no action, leaving Lin Han speechless. Defeated, he bluntly asks her price for one job. After brief thought, she sets the minimum at 2 million. Though shocked, Lin Han transfers the money instantly. Payment received, Fei Hua perks up like she'd been waiting for that cue. Soon, screams echo through the alley as she clears out the stalkers. In moments, they're stacked in a heap, proof of her terrifying god-tier strength. She even offers a discounted extended service, making Lin Han laugh awkwardly. Hearing her complain about poverty, Lin Han hires Fei Hua as personal bodyguard for 500 million a month. At that salary, Fei Hua flips cheerful, declaring herself officially his person. That night, Lin Han sleeps soundly, for once with a true powerhouse guarding him. Yet outside, a mysterious surveillance squad still monitors his building. Panic erupts when a bizarre shadow appears behind their captain. The horn-twisting silhouette looks alive, freezing them in terror. The shadow coils around the captain and drags him into darkness like prey. Before vanishing, it warns that further spying on Lin Han won't end with mere fainting. As the squad flees, the shadow dissolves, revealing Fei Hua silently protecting her boss. Next morning, Lin Han wakes to find Fei Hua standing beside his bed, staring. Startled, he greets her awkwardly and asks why she's in his room. Yawning, she says someone tailed the villa last night, so she handled it and stayed up guarding. Lin Han grows uneasy, thinking of government agents and possible backlash. Fei Hua reassures him she showed restraint, just a warning they won't dare return. Seizing the moment, she suggests deeper cooperation. Lin Han blankly asks what that means, sensing a financial trap. Fei Hua launches into long-term contract calculations, clearly aiming for more protection fees. Lin Han is speechless as God-tier expert values cash over image. Later, they head to a gold-tier dungeon. Rally Point has meeting friends to level. Wang Qiang greets him with booming laughter, proving their brotherhood is solid. But when teased about romance, Wang Qiang and the girl beside him blush and deny everything. Spotting Fei Hua, Wang Qiang curiously asks who she is. Lin Han hurriedly claims she's his cousin, but Fei Hua overacts, making it even messier. Unable to survive the teasing, Lin Han demands a proper intro in front of everyone. Fei Hua instantly switches identities to Zhang Ruixin, a third-turn assassin, leaving Lin Han blinking in shock. Right then, the golden dungeon is announced open, and everyone scrambles to assemble. Lin Han worries the ID check will expose them, but Fei Hua coolly uses her little sister identity to fool the system. She passes the face scan effortlessly, and Lin Han can only gape. The supervisor declares they're just one member short of teleporting in. On QNC shows up and recognizes Lin Han's squad. The moment Yuan Sai sees Lin Han, he demands a team swap. No way he's partying with that jinx. The supervisor shuts them up as the dungeon starts, and everyone gets teleported. They land on a desert battlefield littered with broken swords and torn flags, cheery vibes all around. One glance and Lin Han realizes it's the deep zone where he once met a hidden boss. Soon a herd of Minotaur monsters charges in, instantly cranking up the tension. Lin Han jokes that Wang Xiang must have summoned them by mentioning the boss earlier. Worse yet, every monster looks exactly like that previous boss. One teammate panics mid-fight and bolts, overwhelmed by the monster's strength. Wang Xiang wisely sticks to Lin Han, knowing that's the safest square on the board. With a casual staff swing, Lin Han calls down heavenly lightning and deletes the monsters. Spotting Yuan Sai in trouble, Lin Han decides to rescue him grudgingly. The team panics, fearing they'll be monster chow if Lin Han leaves. The sword-wielding girl behind them fumes, feeling treated like dead weight. Suddenly, a massive monster wave roars forward like a tidal surge, shaking everyone. The girl calmly prepares to strike, her aura tipping Lin Han off that she's no rookie. Trusting her to hold the line, Lin Han dashes off to find Yuan Si. Elsewhere, Yuan Sai is surrounded, while Lin Han watches from afar, teasing that a polite plea might earn salvation. Yuan Si arrogantly refuses, he'd rather die than beg Lin Han. Right then, a monster ambushes him, pushing him into real danger. Lin Han coolly studies Yuan Si's every move like a talent scout at work. Exhausted, Yuan Si gets blasted away and lands heavily injured. Cornered by monsters, Yuan Si finally trembles out a plea for Lin Han to save him. Lin Han coldly repeats his old condition, clearly savoring the humiliation. As they argue, a lethal monster strike shoots straight at Yuan Si. Facing death, Yuan Si finally screams for Lin Han to save him. Hearing the magic words, Lin Han smirks, mission humiliation accomplished. He flashes down like lightning and blocks the fatal blow with his staff. Just as Yuan Si exhales in relief, the ground trembles with greater danger. A horde of giant monsters surrounds the pair in the middle of the battlefield. Yuan Si panics while Lin Han calmly drops a nickname, baffling him further. Without explanation, Lin Han turns Yuan Si into live bait to break the siege. Flung into the air as monster bait, Yuan Si swears he'll kill Lin Han someday. Reckless as it is, the plan works, and together they wipe out the horde. Afterward, Lin Han mocks that an assassin like Yuan Si getting dizzy is just embarrassing. Yuan snaps back but admits they earned a hefty chunk of experience. Has even confident he'll soon meet the requirements for class advancement. Suddenly, a burst of battle light flares in the distance, catching their attention. Lin Han suggests heading back to help, and Yuan Si agrees no unpaid debts today. In the distance, their teammates are still locked in fierce combat. A young man boasts mid-fight, only for his girlfriend to remind him it's all thanks to Ruixin's protection. Zhang Ruixin stays highly alert, sensing something very off about this dungeon. She notes the monster horde had acted mindless earlier, then mysteriously vanished. The ground suddenly quakes like something gigantic just hit the snooze button on doom. A massive platinum-tier monster erupts from the earth, flexing pure dominance. Ruixin quickly calculates that fighting while babysitting teammates would be a hassle. Luckily, Lin Han and Yuan Si return to the battlefield just in time. Lin Han strolls out calmly, asking if he's fashionably late. Yuan Si trembles at the platinum beast, while Lin Han looks like he's watching street theater. The monster roars and charges with terrifying speed. One colossal slash kicks up a dust storm, forcing the team to hide and observe. The girl senses danger underground and urgently warns everyone. The monster bursts from below, targeting Wang Qiang. He's launched skyward and severely injured in one brutal hit. Even badly hurt, Wang Xiang insists on stalling the monster so his girlfriend can escape. The beast refuses to give them a romantic pause and attacks again. Lin Han raises a magic shield just in time to block the strike. Seeing battlefield romance in progress, Lin Han yells at them to retreat immediately. Yuan Si hauls the couple away, knowing only Lin Han can handle this monster. The beast dives underground again, and Lin Han realizes this won't be easy. Right then, Ruixin appears praising Lin Han's impressive defense. She declares it's her show now and tells Lin Han to enjoy the performance. Facing the savage platinum monster, Ruixin treats it like a kindergarten lesson. She explodes with speed, leaving afterimages that slice the battlefield into layers. Before it can react, the monster takes hundreds of slashes and finally explodes under Fei Hua slash. Afterwards, she beams at Lin Han, asking if her hiring fee was worth it. Lin Han nods, inwardly shaken by this young god-tier powerhouse. Elsewhere in the dungeon, Wang Xiang and the others anxiously wonder about the outcome. A teleport vortex appears, signaling dungeon completion. The system board confirms the team's successful clear. All 5 are teleported back to the dungeon plaza for debriefing. Their boss Tian greets them warmly, inviting Lin Han to dinner. Lin Han immediately mocks him, suspecting he set up the dungeon trap. He presents evidence that the golden dungeon was altered into a platinum-level death trap. Lin Han bluntly states that any weaker they'd be corpses. Boss Tian panics, claiming someone tampered with the invitation without his knowledge. Lin Han demands compensation, reminding him this involved lives. He deliberately lets Wang Xiang negotiate the terms. Wang Xiang promptly asks for 2 golden equipment sets as compensation. Boss Tian hastily agrees and throws in 3 dungeon entry tickets to calm things down. Lin Han warns this is the last time before accepting the settlement. Leaving the plaza, he starts pondering who truly orchestrated the assassination attempt. His mind jumps to the Ma family, though the method feels too obvious. Noticing his deep thoughts, Rixin suddenly pokes his cheek, startling him. Lin Han seriously asks if the Ma family masterminded the dungeon incident. Fei Hua analyzes that altering dungeon data isn't something ordinary forces can pull off. Hearing that, Lin Han grows more concerned about future trouble from the Ma family. Fei Hua admits she's only newly advanced to supremacy and may not handle the entire Ma family alone. She adds that the whole empire has only a few god-tier experts, so the power gap is huge. Still, she believes the Ma family's old ancestor won't act personally, though their experts remain terrifying. Lin Han curiously asks about god-tier experts in other empires. Fei Hua reveals many powerhouses are forming defensive lines against monsters. The world is bigger than he thinks. The 2 resume playful teasing, easing the tension. Suddenly, Fei Hua remembers something important and turns back to Lin Han. She curiously asks just how strong Lin Han truly is. Lin Han dodges the question. His power stats are classified information. Fei Hua turns on the sparkling puppy eyes, making it worse. He finally admits vaguely that below diamond tier is basically unbeatable. Fei Hua presses on, asking if he can heal a suprema tier. When Lin Han says yes, she beams future life insurance secured. They decide to crash at Lin Han's place for the night after the battle. The moment they enter, his parents see him with a girl and jump to conclusions. Ruixin doesn't explain. She cheerfully greets them and strolls into his room like she owns it. She slams the door, leaving Lin Han frozen outside in shock. His parents misread the scene completely, assuming young love is blooming. Late at night, Lin Han feels a hand under his blanket. He jolts awake to find Ruixin sleeping peacefully beside him. Lin Han screams, baffled how she infiltrated his bed. Ruixin sleepily says good morning and dozes off again. He frantically demands why she's in his bed. After she denies any funny business, he relaxes, still utterly confused. Ruixin explains Boss Tian secretly delivered dungeon cards last night, so she hopped out the window to grab them and forgot to leave. Lin Han scolds her for being a god tier yet this careless. She shrugs, saying she'd wake up instantly if there were danger. She hands him the 3 dungeon cards Boss Tian sent. Lin Han unexpectedly gives one back, surprising her. He explains she just broke through to suprema tier, so leveling with it will help. Ruixin is touched, thinking the boss treated her kindly. She grabs his hand to thank him, making things awkwardly sweet. Right then, Lin Han's mom opens the door to call them for breakfast. Seeing them together, Lin Han panics and tries to explain. His mom misunderstands again and happily offers to cook chicken soup for nourishment. The door closes and Lin Han realizes explaining only digs him deeper. Ruixin remembers the 3-day deadline and must report back to Tiangxi Pavilion. She warns that Director Liu has a complicated background, so Lin Han should be cautious. Her words push Lin Han to join the academy recruitment early to grow stronger. At the recruitment site, countless candidates gather in a buzzing spectacle. Academy staff immediately invite Lin Han into the dual selection zone for geniuses. There, not only do academies choose students, students choose academies too. In the hall, 5 major academies await, ready to fight over this rare prodigy. A Chanqi Academy representative quickly stands to recruit Lin Han. The other academies throw out lavish resources to compete. One highlights its support system to maximize his priest talent. Another promises full cultivation resources if he joins. A girls' academy even tempts him with hundreds of senior sisters, turning Lin Han red. The representative's argument grows fierce as each wants the genius. Chanqi Academy offers that if Lin Han ranks first, all resources will be his. Lin Han knows it's pie in the sky but recalls Fei Hua graduated from there. Another academy reveals a secret of creating artificial disasters to farm resources. They claim they can control calamities and secure calamity origin crystals for him. After hearing the chaos, Lin Han finally announces he's made his choice. He chooses Chanqi Academy, Ruixin's alma mater. Ruixin proudly calls herself his senior sister, though the money-hungry sparkle in her eyes makes him sigh. Suddenly, Lin Han halts, sensing someone secretly tailing them. Ruixin swiftly identifies 3 ambush squads nearby, all from the Ma family. Lin Han coldly chuckles, unsurprised by their persistence. He leaves the cleanup to Ruixin, who eagerly prepares for battle. Elsewhere, a Ma family subordinate reports that all assassination forces have been wiped out. The Ma family's young master refuses to retreat, as Relic Fragment No. 3 is directly tied to his sister. He decides to seek out a reclusive powerhouse for help. The 2 kneel at the gate, begging assistance since the family can't act openly. An arrogant voice answers, agreeing to handle Lin Han personally. A teleportation portal opens, releasing a terrifying suprematier aura. At the same time, Lin Han jolts awake, sensing danger. Ruixin also detects an immensely powerful supreme aura at the city's edge. Realizing the enemy has arrived, Lin Han chooses to confront them before his family is dragged in. He brings Ruxin along, knowing the opponent has prepared the battlefield. In an abandoned district, a man waits as if expecting them. Ruxin immediately launches a backstab assassination to test him. The man coldly laughs and praises her skill, raising the tension. Ruxin warily demands the mysterious man's identity. Linhan spots a tracking compass and realizes the Ma family used it to locate him. The opponent issues an ultimatum: hand over relic fragment no, 3 or die. The Ma young master orders his accompanying expert to strike. Ruxin charges forward, blocking any approach to Linhan. Upon clashing, she realizes her sword can't withstand his force. One move sends her flying, and Linhan knows this foe is the real deal. Ruxin identifies him as the three-blade sword Zhang Zifeng. He admits it and again demands the relic fragment. Despite his strength, Ruxin rises to fight for a supreme's honor. She uses Shadowbind to restrain Zhang Zifeng and create an opening. Then she goes Allen with a lethal strike from her legendary dagger. Zhang Zifeng calmly breaks it and praises her tactics like a teacher grading homework. Meanwhile, the Ma young master blocks Linhan from assisting. Linhan burns with anger, ready to settle all debts here. The Ma young master activates his battle armor, power surging. He boasts as a level 40 Platinum Knight, claiming invincibility below Diamond tier. He pours everything into a massive slash to finish Linhan. Linhan stops the blade with one finger, mocking his arrogance. He casually flicks the sword away, sending it spinning into the ground. Linhan follows with a barrage of blows, leaving the young master helpless. Just before the final strike, a supremacy shield suddenly protects him. Realizing the defensive treasure is tough to break, Linhan releases thick smoke to flip the script, confusing everyone. Within the smoke, he transforms into a white-haired elder, posing as a summoned master to intimidate. Feeling the terrifying supreme aura, the enemy trembles and asks about their relationship, fearing the consequences. The elder claims his disciple was cornered, so he must eliminate the threat to prevent future trouble. Crushed by pressure, the man hastily apologizes and offers compensation, secretly stalling for reinforcements. The elder scoffs, exposing his plan to probe identities and call Sanier revenge, deciding to end it now. Without delay, he casts the Forbidden Domain spell Chaos Doomsday Judgment, escalating the battle to apocalyptic levels. Thunder gathers like the end of days, earth-shattering as the forbidden spell turns the area into a death zone. At the Inspection Bureau, the minister pales upon hearing the report this is forbidden-level energy in the city. A Grandmaster senses the source and notes it's even stronger than last time, suspecting that mysterious figure again. Knowing at least 2 Supremes are clashing, he orders Livlin alert and civilian evacuation. Meanwhile, though gravely injured, Feihua unleashes her ultimate Feihua Slash, knowing delay means death. Her movement erupts like dozens of clones attacking at once, forcing constant defense. Even the seasoned elder is struck repeatedly, unable to handle her bizarre speed and angles. Feihua coolly admits she's winning only because of his old injuries, subtly claiming this round. The elder sneers that if those injuries had healed, he'd be saintier, no way he'd lose to a rookie supreme. Her heart tightens clearly, is still hiding a killer move. He unleashes the forbidden 3-sword domain, 3 blades manifesting behind him with crushing aura. Just as he prepares to finish her, he senses his grandson in danger and his expression shifts. Seeing forbidden lightning gather toward Tianxing, he knows one delay means death. He abandons Feihua to save his grandson. Family first, victory later. Feihua survives by a hair but anxiously looks on, knowing her young master is in the storm's eye. Inside the forbidden spell, Tianxing's defensive treasure begins cracking. Death is knocking. Chaotic chains lash out, binding him completely and stripping all resistance. Linhan coldly declares that dying under a forbidden spell is an honor for a Platinum Knight, deepening despair. He explains that within Chaos Domain, attacks are random but the kill target is guaranteed. Realizing he's about to be crushed, Tianxing struggles in panic, unwilling to die. Suddenly, a sword falls from the sky, halting the forbidden spell. Another powerhouse has arrived. The old swordsman appears, blocking the blow and announcing himself as 3-blade sword Zhang Zifeng, here to protect his grandson. He reassures Tianxing that as long as he stands, no one will touch him. Linhan counters that within his forbidden spell, attacks are endless. Let's see how long he lasts. Lightning storms pour down as Zhang Zifeng raises his sword to test the spell's might. The 3 phantom swords spin, absorbing all lightning. His sword domain devours enemy energy. He declares that within 3-sword domain, everything but him will be shredded by sword ki. Knowing his mana is nearly drained, Linhan feigns calm retreat now means certain death. He rises into the air, staff raised, taunting the domain to withstand his next move. A colossal meteor is summoned from the heavens, plunging down with apocalyptic force. 2 swords shatter in the inferno, shaking the old swordsman's defense. Seeing 2 blades destroyed, Linhan coldly claims victory. Yet Zhang Zifeng calmly says 3 swords unite as one. The final blade grows stronger, making it deadlier now. The last sword shoots forward, and Feihua screams for Linhan to run before being cleaved apart. He stays calm, saying it's not worth fleeing, but inwardly knows he's gambling his life. Just as the blade nears him, it suddenly shatters, drained by the earlier forbidden spell's toll. At the same moment, invisible chains bind Zhang Zifeng, stealing his initiative. Linhan lands and coolly says the chains were just appetizers. The real strike hangs above. Looking up, Zhang sees a massive guillotine in the sky, killing intent freezing the air. Linhan declares it the god-slaying guillotine, the ultimate move of Doomsday Judgment. The blade falls, but Zhang destroys it instantly. Supreme veterans don't die easily. Linhan outwardly praises the 3-blade sword title, secretly stalling for time. Suddenly, an aged voice warns that fighting here shows utter disrespect. See Lin Tian appears shocking both sides, while Lin Han internally groans another Supreme spells trouble. See Lin Tian bluntly warns that further fighting means imperial prison. Though exhausted, Lin Han maintains a tough front show weakness today, face endless hunts tomorrow. 3 elemental vortices swirl around him, faking the aura of another ultimate move. See Lin Tian instantly senses wind and lightning elements being drained, realizing this opponent is extremely dangerous. Lin Han even taunts the hidden onlookers, daring them to attack together for convenience. 4 more Supremes step out and announce themselves. Apparently this fight was tonight's main event. Surrounded by 5 Supremes, he sweats inside but blames the Ma family for bullying his disciple. 3 Supremes mediate, stating the relic was legally auctioned, so the Ma family must own the mess. Pressured before so many elites, Zhang Saifeng kneels on one knee, apologizing on behalf of the Ma family. Seeing them yield, Lin Han pretends to ponder, then forgives, internally relieved his bluff work. Zhang Saifeng swiftly drags Tianxing away before the tide turns again. Other Supremes try to befriend him, but he coldly declines, socially unavailable. When Si Lin Tian calls out, he looks annoyed but inwardly prays not to fight again. Si Lin Tian bluntly questions the repeated forbidden spells in Bright Moon City, clearly probing him. Lin Han calmly claims he's only heard rumors, hiding that he caused the chaos. Not wanting small talk, he opens a spatial gate and leaves before everyone's eyes. Watching him wield multiple elements, Si Lin Tian realizes the Empire may face a terrifying new figure. Back at the villa, Lin Han teleports straight onto his bed, his body officially out of battery. He reflects that he nearly died pushing beyond his limits. Next time, less heroics. The next morning, aching all over, he admits that without a successful bluff, he'd be dead. Just then, Fei Hua enters with a bright smile, startling him. She teases him for cocooning in blankets. He grumbles about knocking first. Fei Hua then turns serious. She's here to say goodbye, as the Merchant Guild assigned a new mission. She says she can't keep protecting him, and will keep the fee. He laughs, and says no refund needed. He pats her head, telling her not to risk her life again. She blushes, touched. Before leaving, she asks him to look after her sister Zhang Ruxin at the academy. Fei Hua sighs that her sister still resents her, leaving Lin Han unsure how to respond. A month later, Lin Han arrives at Chanqi Academy in Hangyan City. A blue-haired girl explains the hand-shaped gate symbolizes mages reaching to embrace the sky. Feng Yongxin introduces herself as a 30-year senior and quickly befriends him. Instant campus guide unlocked. Realizing he has the famous top scorer who punched a legendary beast to death, she eyes him with interest. Meeting this year's hottest prodigy, Feng Yongxin drags him off to handle enrollment. After a few steps, Zhang Jianan blocks the way with flowers, pretending coincidence to flirt with Feng Yongxin. Feng Yongxin coldly shuts him down, and Lin Han instantly tags him as campus nuisance. She bluntly introduces Lin Han as this year's top scorer, hinting she's busy. When Zhang Jianan keeps butting in, Lin Han politely reminds him she's not interested. Zhang Jianan sneers, saying a city champion is nothing in a genius-packed academy. He boasts that the Zhang family does business with the academy, flexing background privilege. His lackey even pressures Lin Han to join their club or face trouble on campus. Lin Han smirks, knowing words are wasted, action is faster. One lightning-fast punch sends Zhang Jianan flying into a wall before anyone reacts. Feng Yongxin watches approvingly, clearly impressed by the clean hit. As the lackeys panic, they notice a familiar figure approaching. Zhang Ruixin appears with icy aura, and the crowd parts automatically. She hands in her admission letter decisively, and staff scramble to process it. Lin Han recognizes her as the sister Fei Hua asked him to care for. He strikes up a conversation, subtly probing her personality. Zhang Ruixin coldly rejects him, assuming he's just using a cheap pickup line. Knowing she's hard to approach, Lin Han backs off and asks for directions to the dorm. At the dorm, he knocks to meet his future roommates. A young man cracks the door, staring at him curiously. The moment Lin Han introduces himself, the guy slams the door, leaving him baffled. 1 second later, it flies open again, the guy rushing out with a notebook and sparkling eyes. Turns out Tang Jinqi is a super fan, begging for an autograph from the only triple-turn golden priest. Being treated like a rare Pokémon, Lin Han can only smile awkwardly at his fame. Just then, a spear-wielding youth arrives, pleasantly surprised his roommate is Lin Han. He introduces himself as Gongsun Liangxi, a level 9 spear warrior. Hearing the name, Tang Jinqi trembles, 6th young master of the Gongsun clan, one of the 5 great families. Liangxi humbly asks for everyone's care over the next 4 years, instantly setting a friendly tone. Soon Yuanzi appears, shocking them. This dorm is basically a boss lobby. Lin Han laughs and slings an arm over Yuanzi, clearly happy to reunite. He calls Yuanzi his brother, subtly signaling mutual support ahead. Liangxi suggests a dinner outing to celebrate this legendary lineup. Tang Jinqi is teary with joy, while Lin Han jokes the young master better bring a fat wallet. They head to the academy cafeteria, luxurious as a 5-star hotel. Jaw drops all around. Yuanzi marvels that it's grander than the biggest restaurant back home. Liangxi explains the multi-floor cafeteria serves rare ingredients that boost physique. At the academy, everything runs on academy points, more precious than cash. In a private room, they raise glasses and officially kick off their chaotic academy life. During dinner, Gongsun Liangxi mentions the freshman tournament, saying their diverse squad has big potential. It's not a welcome party, it's a battle royale that determines cultivation resources. The more opponents you defeat, the more resources you earn. Someone once grabbed 10 of the yearly share. Years ago, a senior swept the tournament, seized 60, and soon advanced to supremacy. Lin Han instantly realizes that legend was Fei Hua. Campus myth confirmed. Suddenly, loud knocking interrupts, an aggressive voice demanding someone come out. They step outside to find Zhang Jianan waiting with a grudge-filled glare. He mocks how a freshman like Lin Han could afford this place, clearly picking a fight. Lin Han smirks, asking if he didn't get punched enough earlier. Humiliated again, Zhang Jianan rages and calls his lackeys to surround them. Right then, Feng Yongxin appears, warning that fighting in the cafeteria costs points. In front of her, Zhang Jian instantly switches to fake politeness. Though forced to retreat, he threatens that Lin Han just got lucky this time. Feng Yongxin's friend teases that Lin Han must like her to challenge Zhang Jianan. Feng Yongxin hurriedly gives Lin Han her contact info in case trouble continues. The girls bicker playfully, easing post-showdown tension. Yuanzi seizes the chance to tease Lin Han for stealing the campus bell on day 1. Lin Han mock threatens him, and Yuanzi instantly surrenders. Laughter erupts. Yet Lin Han senses lingering killing intent and stays quietly alert. Late at night, a shadowy figure appears outside the dorm window. He studies each bed before stopping at Yuanzi's. Dagger in hand, the black-clad assassin prepares to strike. Lin Han springs up, blocking the blade and coldly demanding the assassin's identity. Exposed, the assassin retreats and leaps out the window. Lin Han gives chase immediately, tearing through the night. The pursuit ends at the academy cemetery. The assassin dodges and attacks wildly, but his strength clearly falls short of Lin Han. Seizing the opening when the assassin used a real blade, Lin Han twisted his arm and sent the knife spinning back. The blade stabbed its owner, leaving the assassin wide-eyed in disbelief. Lin Han coldly pointed out that bringing a real weapon was his fatal mistake. Even while fading, the assassin warned that sparing Lin Han would mean future disaster. Right then, Kujuran appeared clapping, praising Lin Han's lightning-fast insight. Lin Han coolly noted that getting assassinated on campus screams security issue. Kujuran apologized, promised tighter patrols, and even offered bonus points as compensation. Lin Han guessed the assassin wasn't targeting him specifically but any random freshman. Kujuran suddenly asked about Faihua, baiting Lin Han into a slip and exposing the test. Smiling, Kujuran said he'd figured out Lin Han's identity and only wanted future cooperation. Days later, the freshman tournament began as the vice dean announced the rules. Anyone defeating 5 diamond-level seniors would earn 10 of the academy's yearly resources. Amid the roaring crowd, Lin Han realized this academy filters true geniuses through brute combat. The vice dean declared the start, and the tournament officially erupted. The hall's roof opened wide, sunlight revealing a colossal arena below. Standing center stage, he declared this was where freshmen proved themselves with strength. Fourth-year Tianyi jumped down, inviting freshmen to attack freely since he wouldn't fight back. Sensing something odd, Lin Han immediately asked Lianxi about him. Lianxi explained Tianyi was a rare diamond warrior who grows stronger by taking hits. Every beating buffs him, so his training method is basically please punch me. Waves of freshmen rushed in but were bounced away within seconds. The more he was hit, the louder Tianyi laughed, urging them to try harder. Gongsun Lianxi couldn't resist and leapt up with a lightning-fast spear strike. Tianyi's body felt like a fortress, barely scratched by the attack. Tianyi grinned, saying it was still lacking. No one had cracked his defense yet. Lin Han stepped onto the arena, declaring he'd test the senior himself. One punch later, Tianyi lasted 3 seconds before being blasted off the stage. The seniors in the stands were stunned that a freshman beat a diamond warrior. The vice dean awarded Lin Han 10 points for defeating Tianyi. Next, Jagruxin stepped up, announcing her challenge. She stared at Lin Han and declared Shed arrived to test his strength. Jiang Ruoxin unleashed the 3000 Shadow Kill formation, swarming him with dark figures. Lin Han realized the clones were tangible. One mistake meant real injury. He activated the Eye of Truth, making Ruoxin feel completely exposed. With it, he quickly pinpointed the real body among the illusions. A single punch blew away the black mist, revealing Jiang Ruoxin's true form. She sighed, admitting Shed lost within a single breath of time. Before leaving, she vowed Shed defeat him sooner or later. The vice dean granted Lin Han another 10 points for his second win. The seniors began murmuring this freshman outclassed many upperclassmen. A red-haired girl shot up, mocked the timid crowd, and decided to step in herself. She jumped onto the arena, confidently asking Lin Han for guidance. Suddenly, Zhang Jiaman rushed up, demanding revenge for his humiliating loss. He swore to teach Lin Han a lesson, prompting the red-haired girl to join the fight. Lin Han scoffed at Zhang Jiaman for daring a rematch after his earlier thrashing. Yuanzi wondered if 2 vs Zone broke the rules, but the referee calmly shook his head. With no limit on participant numbers, the 2-known battle began instantly. Hong Yin cast 9 flame skyblaze, turning the arena into a sea of fire. Zhang Jiaman donned flaming armor and charged, convinced Lin Han's fists couldn't break it. But Lin Han blocked the hit, grabbed Zhang Jiaman, and spun him into a mini tornado on the arena. The referee noticed Lin Han used healing light to shield his hands and cleverly redirected the flames with wind. Result: Zhang Jiaman was flung sky high and instantly disqualified. Lin Han closed in on Hong Yin and calmly noted that a mage caught by a warrior should just surrender. In the stands, Yuanzi's louder made Zhang Jiaman's humiliation even worse. Furious, Zhang Jiaman swore eternal enmity, while Lin Han internally sighed at the drama. Hong Yin admitted defeat, bluntly stating that even together they weren't his match. The crowd buzzed that this prodigy might recreate Feiha's old legend. Lin Han raised his hand to continue, saying Onyanon fights were boring, and he wanted the final challenge. The vice dean was intrigued. Few freshmen dared challenge 5 diamond students at once. Lin Han calculated he could rival an intra-level supreme, but had to hide his true strength, so he chose to form a team instead of going solo. The vice dean allowed up to 5 members, warning the opposing team had flawless coordination. Lin Han immediately called his roommates to join the final battle. Glancing around, he realized they were still one member short. Right then, Du Wanding volunteered from the stands, catching him off guard. Recognizing her as a shape-shifting mage who could patch their weaknesses, Lin Han agreed at once. The Vice Dean announced both teams ready and declared the final battle begun. A senior charged at Lin Han, arrogantly lecturing him about respecting elders. Lin Han mocked his ugly armor, joking he might laugh mid-fight. Enraged, the senior insisted full-body armor was a warrior's romance. Suddenly, giant vines burst out and bound Lin Han's team. The enemy mage coldly reminded his allies that battles weren't for chit-chat. He controlled life-infused magic plants, sending man-eating trees lunging forward. Du Wanding nearly got swallowed, but quickly steadied herself to counterattack. Gongsun Lianxi panicked, seeing their formation slipping into disadvantage. Du Wanding shouted for them not to worry, she had it handled. She unleashed lightning magic on the monster forest, yet it seemed harmless. The enemy sneered, claiming plants don't conduct electricity, making lightning useless. Then suddenly all the monster trees burst into fierce flames. She had used lightning as a smokescreen to secretly cast hidden fire magic. Still, an opponent charged with a serrated blade, aiming to cut her down instantly. Du Wanding swiftly chanted to activate a defensive skill. A magic bell appeared, blocking the lethal strike. The opponent gaped, she had just used a Diamond Warrior's skill. The crowd realized it was the shape-shifting mage's copy ability and was stunned. Seeing his teammate stable, Lin Han calmly refocused on his own foe. The senior felt crushing pressure, but insisted it was just a warm-up. Another enemy mage coldly declared it was time to end the match. He summoned Ghostfire Scorching Plains, igniting a magical sea of flames. The opponents laughed, boasting this combo had crushed stronger teams before. Knowing they were outmatched, Gongsun Lianxi and Yuan Zi went all in. They unleashed spear phantoms and deadly strikes at the enemy team. Even surrounded, Lin Han coolly said the real battle had just begun, the enemies were injured too. With that, he accelerated and charged the remaining two to finish it. The seniors hurried to cast Blazing Flame Wall, but couldn't complete it in time. Lin Han's punch landed first, blasting one out of formation. A blue-haired girl quickly bound him with vines, laughing that it'd go no further. Lin Han flipped the vines around her instead, dragging her teammate into the trap. Smiling at the restrained duo, he remarked that now it was just two left. Even the Vice Dean marveled at his lightning-fast tactics and flawless reactions. A senior sighed that one tiny slip was enough for Lin Han to exploit, proof of his terrifying strength. Noticing they were easy to provoke, Lin Han deliberately taunted them into charging. He smashed the ground, making the arena quake like it was splitting apart. The two seniors split up and struck from opposite sides at once. Lin Han caught both attacks barehanded, calmly declaring himself a violent priest. He snapped their weapons and finished the match with two clean punches. Then he cast Holy Light Illumination to heal, casually calling it a lucky win. The freshmen below erupted, chanting Lin Han's name. The Vice Dean declared him champion and awarded 10 of the Academy's resources. Many students sighed, being born in the same era as Lin Han was pure misfortune. Amid the cheers, Lin Han sensed a sneaky gaze watching him. Later, the group headed to a private dining room to celebrate. Gongsun Lianxi, drunk, laughed that he'd better cling to Lin Han's thigh for easy points. Du Wanding joined the teasing, making the party even livelier. Yet as they celebrated, a mysterious figure flashed past the window. Lin Han instantly recognized it as the same watcher from the arena. He pretended to leave and lured the person to a secluded spot. Suddenly, he cast earth magic, launching a massive boulder. The girl swiftly split the rock in two with her blade. Lin Han followed with sacrificial explosive fist, forcing her on defense. Blocking it, she laughed that this power clearly exceeded diamond level. She revealed her identity and Lin Han burst out laughing. It was Fei Hua. After some teasing, Lin Han asked if she came to visit her sister or for another reason. Fei Hua sighed that things were tense with her sister, so meeting wasn't guaranteed. She bragged about breaking through to level 3 Supreme after a month of dungeon grinding. Lin Han was shocked, thinking dungeon monsters could only be killed once. Fei Hua explained they respawn periodically, so she farmed nonstop. That method boosted her far faster than normal cultivation. Eventually, dungeon management kicked her out for draining too many resources. Dropping the jokes, Fei Hua seriously warned him about the earlier mutated monster case. She revealed the culprit might be the Blood Moon cult, a sect that grows stronger with human blood. Lin Han recalled the assassin turning into black mist and suspected he was being targeted. Before leaving, Fei Hua said she was joining the military and came to say goodbye. She leaned close to tease him, making Lin Han blush and stammer awkwardly. Laughing, she warned that if he got killed by the Blood Moon cult, she wouldn't bother collecting his corpse. Lin Han's bold retort slipped out wrong, and she laughed before turning away decisively. Coldly, she entrusted her sister to him. If anything happened, she'd personally take his life. From a rooftop afar, a mysterious figure watched her leave, scoffing at today's disrespectful students. The next morning, Lin Han and his team entered the Changqi Academy Mission Hall, packed with freshmen. Here, freshmen formed teams to hunt monsters for points, though anomalies like Lin Han were seen as monsters themselves. Mid-conversation, a domineering group shoved through the crowd, drawing Lin Han's attention to their leader. A youth recognized him as Bright Moon City's champion and eagerly called out Lin Han's name. Zhuge Tianfeng, claiming to be Hangyan's top scholar, proudly invited Lin Han to join his elite team. Lin Han coldly refused, dismissing their top scholar team as childish showboating. The underlings flared up with threats, but Lin Han sneered that Zhuge's dogs barked too loudly. Losing patience, Lin Han clenched his fist, ready to teach the master who couldn't leash his dogs. Zhuge Tianfeng casually blocked the punch, and Lin Han realized this opponent far surpassed anyone had faced before. Just as tension exploded, a stern voice rang out, forcing both sides to halt. Lin Han saw the newcomer Xu Zhongshan, head of education at least supreme level. After scanning them, he suddenly told those wanting to team with Lin Han to follow him. He led them up Luang Tower and opened the rooftop gates like unveiling something big. From the top, the vast academy and surrounding lands left them stunned. Calmly, he introduced Luang Tower as the academy's highest point and city lookout. He explained Hangyan had no army students must defend the city from monsters. The academy had survived 3 brutal beast tides, each a fight to the death. Recently, monsters were stirring again. Another tide could strike any time. Lin Han bluntly asked what they were meant to do. Clearly this wasn't story time. Su Zhongshan said he was betting on the future. If they grew fast, the city gained hope. Gongsun Lianxi was thrilled as supreme. Offering personal mentorship was rare even for great clans. Lin Han clenched his fist, vowing to fight the beast tide as long as he lived. Laughing in satisfaction, Su Zhongshan named their team the Watchers. Lin Han instantly agreed the name fit their frontline duty. Su Zhongshan tossed them a mission token, ordering them to the hall tomorrow for special training. Lin Han caught it respectfully, knowing their first trial was near. Next morning, the 5 brought the token to officially accept the challenge. The clerk checked it and gasped they'd chosen that mission. Sensing trouble, Lin Han asked what was wrong. His instincts screamed danger. Gongsun Lianxi explained errant missions were usually for peak diamond teams only. Lin Han calmly analyzed the Mangshan Hearthif case's investigation, not brute monster brawling. Gongsun Lianxi nodded. High risk meant high rewards and faster growth. Seeing lingering fear, Lin Han assured them that as long as he stood, they wouldn't be swallowed whole. The team set off by car toward Mangshan County to uncover the mystery. On the way, Lin Han warned that Mangshan bordered monster territory. One slip could cost everything. Half-joking, he said falling off Mangshan's cliffs meant instant death, making Teng Jinki's regret pointless. He reviewed the file. 26 murders in Mangshan, no wounds but hearts missing. Even a platinum squad vanished there, upgrading the mission to a rank and far deadlier than expected. Gongsun Lianxi stayed optimistic with Lin Han leading, but Du Wanning warned scarce clues made it worse. Suddenly, the car braked hard, jolting everyone. The panicked driver forced them out, saying no one dared enter Mangshan anymore. He claimed a survivor spoke of ghostly shadows calling names of the living. Lin Han pressed for the witness whereabouts, knowing ghost rumors often hide real clues. The driver sighed, sketching a forest map to Mangshan, and noting the witness later fell gravely ill. Hearing of ghost shadows, Lin Han's eyes turned icy. He would expose whatever controlled this place. Following the map, they reached Mangshan's outskirts, thick with deathly air. Teng Jinki felt an oppressive gloom, as if something watched from the dark. Then a ghostly figure appeared before them, proving the rumors true. Lin Han sensed strange power in it, yet it showed no intent to attack, more trace than threat. Du Wanning immediately activated Observer ability to pierce the nature of this eerie phenomenon. Seeing the rare ability activate, Lin Han knew only she could unveil Mangshan's truth. Through spiritual sight, Du Wanning saw Shenming Academy students once gathered here. She watched them escort a junior and shove him toward a mysterious zone ahead. That zone was actually a gateway to another dimension where the investigation team had entered. Deep inside lurked a colossal red shadow that filled her with primal terror. Its pressure made her eyes bleed, forcing her teammates to yank her out of observer mode. Trembling, she said the red shadow nearly seized her mind in an instant. Lin Han decided they must enter. The secret of Mangshan lay beyond that spatial wall. He opened the Eye of God, scanning for the space's true crack. At last, he found the hidden fissure, confirming it was a portal to another world. Without hesitation, he punched through space, opening the path. Beyond was a bloodred sky, thick with killing intent. Seeing blood-soaked land, Gongsun Lianxi shivered, fearing Mangshan was slaughtered clean. From pools of blood rose stone statues and heartless corpses, clearly a killing altar. Yuanzi burned with anger. The murderer was using lives for some ritual. Lin Han noticed many empty coffins. More victims were planned. A monstrous insect leapt to bite Gongsun Lianxi, heralding real danger. Lin Han crushed it instantly, warning that everything here could kill. A mysterious figure stepped out, sneering that worthy test subjects had finally arrived. With a wave, he summoned a giant beast, declaring this blood hell where they were mere toys. The monster charged. The team fought, but quickly realized Mangshan's foes were abnormally strong. Amid chaos, Du Wanning panicked. Her abilities were completely sealed here. A beast appeared behind her, fangs poised to tear. Luckily, Yuanzi and Teng Jinki blocked it, realizing they were being hunted. From above, the mastermind watched with delight, treating their struggle as entertainment. Seeing the blood-draining technique, Lin Han recognized a Blood Moon cult heretic. The Guardian laughed, admitting he was the Blood Moon cult's heart-eating worm. Gongsun Lianxi offered to stay behind so the others could flee, knowing the gap in strength. Lin Han barked. No, the Watchers never abandoned teammates to survive. Hearing that heart-eating worm grinned wider, seeing prey ready to be crushed. Lin Han coolly replied that strength is proven in battle, tightening the air instantly. He punched open a spatial gate, intending to force his team to retreat while he stalled. Ignoring protests, he shoved them through the portal himself. Teng Jinki anxiously asked how it escaped. Lin Han just smiled, saying he'd finish up and follow. Heart-eating worm raged at the fleeing prey, vowing Lin Han would suffer. Lin Han mocked that only alone could he fight freely, unleashing his full aura. He cast the forbidden spell Fallen Realm Descent, draining the enemy toward death. Heart-eating worm panicked as his senses shattered, coughing blood without knowing why. Lin Han coldly explained he'd lost sight and hearing, trapped in fatal hallucinations. Seizing the chance, Lin Han launched a killing blow to avenge Mangshan's heartless victims. At the last second, Heart-Eating Worm broke the curse and caught the punch. Laughing madly, he revealed a king wolf died, but he was supreme level. He countered at lightning speed, striking Lin Han's abdomen and gravely wounding him. The Guardian sneered that near-supreme combat power still wasn't enough to face him. Poison from the wound corroded his mana, making Lin Han weaker the longer he fought. Heart-Eating Worm revealed this was just a clone that could briefly unleash the true body's power. He leisurely rode his beast, ordering the horde to exhaust Lin Han to death. Lin Han kept dodging but knew this attrition meant certain doom. So he chose to gamble everything on a single lethal strike. Gripping his staff, he charged straight in for the decisive blow. Heart-Eating Worm disdainfully raised a hand, convinced he'd seen through the desperation. He laughed, certain Lin Han couldn't kill him with that move. Suddenly, volleys of darts rained down, piercing the monster and stunning them both. Su Zhongshan appeared midair, saying he'd secretly monitored his student's mission. Heart-Eating Worm sneered, amused to hook such a big fish. Su Zhongshan coldly replied that there was no turning the tide for him. With a wave, countless metal shards rose, crushing the foe under magnetic force. Gravely injured, Heart-Eating Worm still laughed that the distance was enough to leave a gift. His body swelled and self-destructed wildly, trying to drag them all down. Su Zhongshan raised a barrier to block the blast, while Lin Han proposed baiting the enemy's true body. He argued hiding was useless, better lure the Blood Moon cult out and end it. A distant voice approved the bold plan, putting them on guard. The newcomer was Mangshan's magistrate, Bian Xing, claiming he'd evacuated civilians and hunted the cult. After he left, Lin Han remained uneasy. The magistrate's aura felt wrong. Back at base, teammates greeted Lin Han in relief, thinking he'd died. He admitted it was only a Blood Moon clone without his mentor, he'd be dead. Su Zhongshan appeared, reminding them he only observed life and death trials forged strength. Yuanzi reported Mangshan was cut off, no messages reached the academy. Su Zhongshan confirmed the communication system was sealed, hinting at a powerful manipulator. Suspicion fell on Bian Xing, his strength and movements were too mysterious. Su Zhongshan admitted Bian Xing once survived a catastrophic mission alongside him. Changing topic, he sent them to the border market for rare gear. They entered bustling Mangshan market, crowded with frontier experts. Lin Han was surprised to see a branch of Tiangxi merchant guild here. Learning Lin Han was a Tiangxi member, teammates realized he was loaded. Du Wanning shyly asked to join. Rare gear often appeared there. A receptionist led them into a treasure-filled showroom that dazzled the eyes. Lin Han pointed at 2 items, clearly interested. The clerk introduced a defensive necklace and the Lightning Fist manual, total 800 million. Though Du Wanning worried about the price, Lin Han casually bought them. His mentor would pay. He knew Lightning Fist would become his new trump card. Still, danger tingled, so many experts present, yet the Blood Moon cult remained free. After absorbing Heavenly Thunder Fist, Lin Han felt a forbidden-level power ready to shatter stalemates. Du Wanning pulled him away, and they returned to the team. Everyone flaunted new gear, making Su Zhongshan wince at the bill. Each showed their spoils. The team's combat strength clearly surged. Tang Jinqi proudly hugged her diamond staff, easing the mood. Then Su Zhongshan announced the mission upgraded to Shrank, with only Lin Han as bait. He firmly ordered the others to withdraw. The Blood Moon cult had a supreme in play. As planned, Lin Han entered Mangshan forest alone, deliberately exposing himself. Soon enough, waves of monsters poured from the mountains, surrounding him completely. In the darkness, Heart-Eating Worm appeared. Had clearly been waiting for this prey. Lin Han bluntly asked why the Blood Moon cult was so obsessed with hunting him. Heart-Eating Worm revealed the High Priest ordered him captured alive, maybe even turned into a collectible. Lin Han replied coldly that this time, the one dying would be him. Heart-Eating Worm mocked him, knowing Su Zhongshan was being stalled, no backup left. Lin Han calmly exposed that they'd already deduced the traitor was Magistrate Bian Xing. Heart-Eating Worm remained confident since entering Mangshan, they'd been in his trap. Facing the charging horde, Lin Han simply summoned his new power. The Wind Thunder 8 Trigram's domain erupted, lightning incinerating every monster. The terrifying might made Heart-Eating Worm realize he'd underestimated Lin Han. Elsewhere, Su Zhongshan confronted Bian Xing, confirming his alliance with the cult. Bian Xing snarled that the empire was unjust, so he sought power and authority through betrayal. He boasted his reward was Hangyun's market and level 3 supreme strength. Yet trapped in a battle space, Bian Xing slowly realized he still wasn't Su Zhongshan's match. A colossal staff slammed down from the sky, signaling the battle's escalation. Meanwhile, Heart-Eating Worm devoured fallen beasts to power up, his body grotesquely swelling. He rasped that if Lin Han was done, now it was his turn. Instantly, Lin Han felt a sinister force invade his mind. Space warped around him under Heart-Eating Worm's pressure, as if the world collapsed. The secret art blood demon corruption activated, eroding sanity into puppethood. Lin Han dropped to one knee, coughing black blood, his domain barely holding. Heart-Eating Worm sneered that before Blood Moon sorcery, Lin Han was just a bug. At the brink, an iron staff shot in, forcing Heart-Eating Worm to dodge. A hand pulled Lin Han upright from collapse. Su Zhongshan appeared, admitting he'd lost to Bian Xing and had to retreat. Behind them, Bian Xing roared for Heart-Eating Worm to pursue, no escape. The four plunged into a deadly forest chase. Su Zhongshan rode his iron staff to widen the gap, slipping briefly from sight. Behind them, Heart-Eating Worm and Bian Xing argued over the near-successful capture. During escape, ferocious wolves blocked Su Zhongshan's path. He slew them with the staff, but his strength drained rapidly. Old wounds flared, he coughed blood, face pale at his limit. Lin Han anxiously asked, but Xu Zhongshan only reassured him and began healing. Confused how his mentor lost, Lin Han demanded the full story. Xu Zhongshan explained Bian Xing planted a thunder clone near the students. If he died, they would too. Unsure if true, he withdrew to check, exposing a fatal opening. Bian Xing seized the moment, ambushing from behind. He shattered the confinement and struck with full force to kill Xu Zhongshan. The blow gravely injured him, costing his advantage. He fled skyward, but Bian Xing relentlessly pursued. Still, Lin Han insisted he had a trump card. Defeat wasn't certain. Before they could prepare, the two enemies caught up. Bian Xing and heart-eating worm stood before them, grinning like cornered predators. Xu Zhongshan warned that colluding with the Blood Moon cult led only to ruin. Bian Xing roared he was reclaiming power that should have been his. Impatient, heart-eating worm urged killing Xu Zhongshan immediately. The two prepared their finishing strike. Suddenly, Xu Zhongshan cast the forbidden spell Falling Stellar Pillar, summoning a massive meteor. Heart-eating worm panicked this taboo spell would kill the caster too. Xu Zhongshan coldly declared he was ready to drag them both to hell. Bian Hang is forced to blast the meteor with a lightning forbidden spell to stop its dramatic landing. Meanwhile, Lin Han opens his wind lightning domain, nerfing the enemy's lightning just enough to seal the deal. Xu Zhongshan summons 36 iron rods into a fortress to shield himself and Lin Han from the boom. The barrier snaps shut just as the meteor hits, exploding hard enough to shake the whole forest. Inside the cube, Lin Han peers out anxiously, unsure if the fight is actually over. When the shockwaves fade, the iron rods separate, revealing a battlefield turned wasteland. Xu Zhongshan limps out on his staff, exhausted but smiling, thinking they've won. Surprise lightning shoots up from underground, piercing defenses and striking him. Lin Han catches his mentor as Bian Hang and Xixin Chong crawl up from below. Bian Hang laughs like a maniac, claiming sole survivor status, while Xixin Chong eyes Lin Han like loot. Drained but defiant, Lin Han stands in front of his teacher, refusing to budge. He casts Holy Light Restoration, healing Xu Zhongshan on the spot. Bian Hang fumes, realizing too late that Lin Han is a healing priest. Xixin Chong lunges but gets kicked away, though Lin Han senses something's off. Green smoke coils around Lin Han's hands, his mana is getting polluted. Xixin Chong cackles, boasting he poisoned the surrounding energy with his blood aura. As Bian Hang moves to kill Xu Zhongshan, Kui Sanqiao suddenly appears to block the strike. Bian Hang urges Xixin Chong to finish it before reinforcements arrive. Kui Sanqiao barehands Xixin Chong's attack, forcing him to escape with a substitute trick. He reveals Xu Zhongshan secretly sent word, allowing the academy to dispatch rescue forces. Bian Hang collapses in despair, screaming he only wanted back what was his. Xu Zhongshan painfully recalls how Bian Hang once abandoned 3 teammates for merit. Bian Hang coldly accepts defeat while Xixin Chong couldn't care less. Amid the distraction, Xixin Chong slips behind Lin Han. Before anyone reacts, he teleports away with Lin Han in tow. In a blurred dimension, Xixin Chong dumps Lin Han out of a sack. Lin Han warily asks where they are, sensing thick evil energy. Xixin Chong reveals it's a Blood Moon cult stronghold and he was ordered to capture Lin Han alive. Even captured, Lin Han coolly mocks him as nothing impressive. Xixin Chong drains a subordinate's life force and condenses it into a blood fruit snack. The brutality confirms to Lin Han that the Blood Moon cult is nightmare fuel. Xixin Chong tries recruiting him, only to get a flat-out rejection. Patiently, he promises to show Lin Han the cult's true power. A victim is dragged in as a sacrifice, igniting Lin Han's fury. Xixin Chong reveals he gained 2 classes through a demon god sacrifice ritual. He explains those blessed by the demon god can awaken a 2nd class. Offer enough lives, and the demon god grants power beyond mortal limits. With a 2nd class, he claims Lin Han's talent would make him a true monster. He tempts him further with titles like Guardian or even High Priest. Lin Han only grows more disgusted, bluntly calling the cult revolting. Xixin Chong throws him into a blood pool to drown in the despair of countless souls. Surrounded by bloody malice, Lin Han realizes absorbing it means madness, refusing means death, so he gambles. Suddenly, the blood pool's energy erupts, shocking Xixin Chong. From the pool, blood energy gathers into a massive descending figure. Using the unabsorbable blood malice, Lin Han casts a necromancy forbidden spell, summoning the Hell 3-headed hound. Riding the beast, he roars that today Hell claimed justice for the dead. The 3-headed hound howls like a hellish war chariot, one bark blasting away Blood Moon cultists. Unfazed, Xixin Chong orders his men to surround and capture the monster. Under Lin Han's control, the hound effortlessly crushes the army ahead. Xixin Chong quickly opens a spatial vortex, sucking the beast into the stronghold's trap. Lin Han is stunned as his summoned beast gets yanked out of his control. Xixin Chong coldly reveals this is his custom-built stronghold with a defensive array. The Demon God Slaughter array activates, suppressing blood malice victims until sanity and mana evaporate. The 3-headed hound is instantly bound tight by a giant serpent. Lin Han realizes he can't use blood malice here to summon more undead. Cornered, he gambles on absorbing the blood malice and cleansing it later with holy light. Instead of destroying him, the blood malice fuses neatly into his body. Xixin Chong laughs madly, convinced Lin Han has embraced demon god power. Agonized, Lin Han grits his teeth, refusing to lose his mind. Xixin Chong ups the cruelty by torturing the 3-headed hound before him. The serpent tightens, making the hellhound howl in pain. Amid chaos, the base trembles and Lin Han senses something is off. Xixin Chong seizes control of the hound and orders it to tear Lin Han apart. Facing death, Lin Han activates Free Divine Mask and 3-blade sword manifestation. In a flash of light, he transforms into Zhang Zifeng. Xixin Chong panics, thinking the legendary swordsman has returned. But Lin Han knows the form lasts only 3 minutes. Speed is everything. Outside, a girl urgently tracks Lin Han's whereabouts. Sensing the fierce battle, she finally locks onto his location. Inside, Lin Han unleashes a terrifying rain of swords from the sky. The sword light falls like heavenly judgment, leaving Shishin Chong defenseless. Even dying, he laughs that Lin Han will become the demon god's gift. The transformation ends, and Lin Han collapses as the mountain begins to cave in. A massive boulder is about to crush him until it's shattered midair. A figure smashes through the stronghold wall, shouting Lin Han's name. The girl catches him and escapes the collapsing mountain. Su Zhongshan rushes over, bombarding them with questions. Gongsun Tuner confirms Lin Han is badly hurt but not in mortal danger. In a coma, Lin Han dreams of being chained in a strange space. Before him stands a madman muttering, "I'll kill you." Looking closer, Lin Han shudders at himself. He jolts awake in the academy hospital. First words still, "I'll kill you." After being shaken, he slowly regains clarity despite a spinning head. Learning he was out for 7 days, he realizes this time was far worse. An elder checks his injuries and warns him carefully, making it clear he barely survived. Gongsun Qianer enters and asks everyone to leave. She wants answers about the mountain. With only key figures present, she introduces herself and bluntly asks how Shijin Chong died. Instantly wary, Lin Han knows they doubt him, so he credits a fictional master. Calmly, he claims he used a life-saving treasure from his master to counterattack and gravely wound Shijin Chong. Su Zhongshan cuts in, telling Lin Han to rest and declaring the Shrank mission complete, ending the interrogation. Though suspicious of the mysterious master, Su Zhongshan vows that as his student, Lin Han is untouchable by the Blood Moon cult. After recovery, Lin Han leaves the hospital stretching comfortably, thinking the danger streak is over. Yuanxi jokes he owes everyone a meal. Lin Han laughs, agrees, and heads for a shower, clueless about incoming trouble. The moment he steps in, violent blood energy surges inside him, threatening to break loose. He realizes his power never destroyed it, and now the eruption is nearly uncontrollable. If it explodes in the academy, he'll be detained, so he must suppress it elsewhere despite the risk. He lies to Yuanxi about a stomachache, slips out the window, and heads for the deep forest. Lin Han decides to unleash the blood energy in the woods, endure a few minutes, suppress it again, and leave no trace. The moment Lin Han's blood aura explodes in the forest, the terrifying surge instantly alerts Su Zhongshan and the others. Su Zhongshan assumes a Blood Moon cult expert invaded the academy and fumes at their audacity. Gongsun Qianer suspects worse. Last time there was a mole, so this eruption might be from within. Su Zhongshan's eyes darken as the name Lin Han quietly surfaces in his mind. Qianer withholds judgment but insists on verifying herself. If someone was replaced, the fallout would be catastrophic. Deep in the forest, Lin Han endures the berserk blood aura as his body is nearly swallowed by sinister energy. A crimson skull slowly forms above his head like a long-sealed evil mark finally breaking free. His body mutates, hair lengthens. A skull tattoo appears, proof the new power is forcefully taking over. System notice: second-class awakened world-shocking demon son, with skills Blood Moon Demon Claw and Blood Moon Corrosion. Realizing this outlawed demonic power would get him hunted by every academy, Lin Han panics. At that moment, Su Zhongshan and 2 others suddenly appear outside his room to trace the blood aura. Yuanxi says Lin Han is in the bathroom, prompting Su Zhongshan to demand the door be opened immediately. The door swings open to reveal Lin Han calmly holding a newspaper, Oscar-worthy composure. Relieved, Su Zhongshan assumes he's uninvolved and leaves to inspect elsewhere. Once they're gone, Lin Han exhales. He just dodged a deadly investigation. Still, he knows the demonic aura is too obvious without a concealment artifact. Exposure is inevitable. He heads to the market for one, only to unexpectedly run into Gongsun Qianer. She smiles lightly, saying everyone has secrets, clearly hinting she's figured something out. Manager Liu arrives to greet them, making the air awkward as all 3 recognize each other. Liu introduces Lin Han as a VIP of the Merchant Guild, piquing Qianer's interest further. Qianer generously tells Lin Han to buy whatever he likes. The Gongsun family will pay. She calls it an investment, hoping he'll help her family in a future crisis. Watching her leave, Lin Han realizes she guessed his secret yet chose silence, earning his deep gratitude. Upstairs, a subordinate reports findings about a mysterious figure near Lin Han's residence and related ties. After reviewing everything, Qianer concludes Lin Han is a secret-laden genius capable of shifting the balance. She orders all files destroyed, deciding to quietly guard his secret until he repays the Gongsun family someday. Lin Han directly asks Manager Liu for equipment that suppresses magical fluctuations, knowing exposure means disaster. Liu laughs confidently, saying Tianxie Pavilion lacks no rare goods, and leads him to a special vault. In the sealed room, Liu points to a cloth-covered item, claiming it can hide one's aura. The cloth lifts, revealing a transcendent star crystal that masks most mana fluctuations for 50 million. When the system activates, it evolves into a divine concealment crystal, capable of hiding all of Lin Han's aura. Realizing his scored god-tier gear, Lin Han buys it instantly and leaves before drawing attention. Holding the artifact, he rejoices the demon sun aura is finally under wraps. Meanwhile, in the shadows, a Blood Moon cult subordinate reports Shi Shinchong's death and a new demon sun fluctuation. The archbishop sneers and orders the plan to continue. They must capture that demon sun. Lin Han strolls through the bustling market, relieved, believing the divine concealment crystal solved everything. But after a few steps, Gongsun Liangxi blocks him, teasing about dating her sister. Ignoring his protests, her friends swarm in to educate Lin Han, leaving him crying to the heavens. In no time, the market erupts as the top freshman receives a friendly group beatdown. Once their hands are tired, they stop laughing, treating it as affectionate hazing. Jang Ruksin strolls by mocking Lin Han's sorry state as the so-called top rookie. Gongsun Liangxi instantly snaps back, refusing to let her insult a teammate publicly. Yuan Sai piles on, saying Jang Ruksin's personality pales next to her sister's. Pride wounded, Jang Ruksin draws her blade to Yuan Sai's throat, ready to fight. Lin Han steps in to cool things down before it turns into a real brawl. Jang Ruksin coldly declares her sister a family traitor she'll never acknowledge. As tension peaks, a teacher appears, breaking up with news of a new mission. He explains it's a border field mission for the two top teams he'll lead personally. At the frontier, fortresses face constant monster threats, soldiers guarding nonstop. Arrows and wind cannons rain down endlessly, forming a dense anti-beast defense line. The task: eliminate 3 small monster packs within 5 miles with tight coordination. Paired into duos, they prepare to enter the forest at dawn. The next day, Lin Han and Du Wanting find a gold-tier wolf pack stronger than expected. Still, Wanting eagerly charges in, determined to prove herself. She dives forward, hurling fireballs that scorch the wolves. Ambushed from behind, she switches to precise ice magic in response. Soon the pack is wiped out, and she proudly shows off. But in a lapse of focus, a massive claw strikes from behind. Lin Han punches the beast away, saving her from a fatal hit. Teasing, he warns her not to get cocky. Real battle punishes mistakes. Suddenly, the remaining monsters scatter in panic. Oddly enough, Wanting realizes they're fleeing toward Jang Ruksin's sector. Sensing trouble, Lin Han drags her along to prevent disaster. Elsewhere, Jang Ruksin and her team just slew a giant turtle python beast. Immediately after, a whole pack of snake-tailed turtle beasts surrounds them. Her teammate fires white laser magic, piercing many, but they're outnumbered. Jang Ruksin dodges one and kills it, but another bites her arm, poisoning her. Seeing blood seep out, she grits her teeth. One misstep turned dire. Her teammate panics at her injury and gets blasted out of formation. Exhausted yet resolute, Jang Ruksin insists a captain never abandons teammates. At the critical moment, Lin Han arrives with a punch that smashes the encirclement. He jokes that a few turtle beasts shouldn't be this hard, arcing her pride. Quan Ting shouts that dozens remain, forcing focus back to survival. Lin Han grabs a gold-tier turtle beast by the tail and spins it like a mace into the horde. Watching monsters toss like bowling balls, Jang Ruksin begins doubting his true strength. After clearing the field, Lin Han prepares to regroup with the mentor. Suddenly, Jang Ruksin collapses, clutching her chest. The poison flares up. Lin Han checks the wound, sees the toxin spread, and casts a life-forbidden spell. Healing light envelops her, but the weak response alarms everyone. She remains motionless and panic sets in. Though the poison is cleansed, she's still unconscious, forcing Lin Han to call the mentor. Half an hour later, the mentor arrives and examines her critical state. He detects a strange energy moving near her heart untreated. It's fatal. With limited border resources, he activates a teleportation array to rush her back to the city for treatment. He warns the border monsters are unnaturally stronger, clear signs of looming disaster. Lin Han activates the teleportation array, rushing Jang Ruksin straight to Hangyan Hospital. Watching them vanish, the mentor can only pray things don't spiral out of control. At the hospital, Lin Han bursts in, begging doctors to save her life. One glance at the patient and the doctor's face turns grave. He instantly knows Jang Ruksin is teetering on the edge of death. An emergency operating room is prepared without delay. Outside, Lin Han paces anxiously, dreading how to face her sister if the worst happens. After surgery, the doctor asks where they encountered something so dangerous, deepening Lin Han's worry. Fortunately, she survives, but the parasitic creature is rare and terrifying. The doctor explains it's a heart-infecting worm modified by the Blood Moon cult, able to boost and then control its host. Lin Han immediately connects the border chaos to a spreading Blood Moon cult scheme. Just then, he receives an urgent call. Major upheaval has erupted at the border. Barely awake, Jang Ruksin insists on returning to rescue her teammates. Lin Han objects, but she refuses to abandon her squad. As they argue, a voice asks about a one-time teleportation array. Senior Feng appears, saying she's on a nearby mission and can help. She reveals the academy knows about the crisis and will head back with them. The trio activates the teleportation array and rushes to the border. Upon arrival, the eerie silence tells them something is terribly wrong. Outside, Yuan Sai leads a defense team evacuating civilians in haste. He reports the border wall has fallen. Beasts have overrun Mangshan County. At the front line, a giant python is pinned by a spear from Gongsun, proof of a brutal clash. Recognizing the spear, Lin Han immediately worries about Gongsun's fate. Deeper in, the giant python suddenly flees in terror, clearly afraid of something ahead. Senior Feng is stunned. If even that monster runs, the front must be worse. Around them, beasts slaughter each other in chaotic frenzy. Lin Han quickly realizes 3 battling creatures are king-tier monsters, absurdly powerful. Knowing they can't face them head-on, the group opts to detour. But a monster gets blasted straight toward them, instantly ruining that plan. The 3 beast kings shift targets and roar after them like living bulldozers. Senior Feng notes their speed. Without a strategy, they'll be caught. Lin Han suggests splitting up to divide pursuit and regroup later. Since Jang Ruksin is injured, Lin Han carries her while fleeing. Strangely, all 3 beast kings ignore Senior Feng and chase only Lin Han. Even with stamina, Lin Han knows endless running equals certain doom. Spotting a small mountainside cave, he gambles on hiding inside. He pulls Jang Ruksin in, hoping to shake the pursuers. Outside, the beasts sniff around, especially a keen-nosed bear closing in. With no retreat left, Lin Han prepares a desperate forbidden spell. Suddenly, someone from inside the cave drags them deeper before the beasts notice. Dazed, Zhang Ruxin still doesn't grasp what just happened in the darkness. Looking closely, they realize their rescuer is Jiang Lin, the previously missing teammate. After lighting a fire, Jiang Lin asks why they risked coming to such a deadly place. He also inquires about everyone's situation since they were separated. Jiang Lin reveals he stayed behind alone to hold off the three Beast Kings so others could escape. During the fight, the heart-infecting worms sealed off the entire North Mang range, nearly cutting all escape routes. Monsters swarmed so densely that even a kingtier like Jiang Lin had to hide. Lin Han suddenly remembers Feng Junction is still missing after the team split. Jiang Lin confirms she's a diamond-tier wind mage staying alone here is suicidal. Senior Feng worries Lin Han going solo into a forest full of Beast Kings is madness. Lin Han insists on going alone to avoid dragging everyone else into danger. Trusting his strength, Zhang Ruixin persuades Jiang Lin to accept the plan. Leaving the cave, Lin Han activates Eye of God to locate Feng Junction. Reaching the marked spot, he sees no one yet the skill swears she's there. With no choice, he shouts to confirm her position. Feng Junction appears from afar, finally reunited. She explains she set up a wind detection array covering 500 meters. But it only senses hostility, so Lin Han slipped through unnoticed. After confirming Jiang Lin is safe, they hurry back to the cave. On return, the cave is blasted open wide enough for monsters to flood in. 7 beasts block the entrance where Jiang Lin and Zhang Ruixin are trapped. Final boss vibes. Facing the barricade, Lin Han doesn't retreat, teammates await behind him. He charges in, fists and twin dragon kicks flying to clear the path. Senior Feng is stunned. This combat power far exceeds a mere gold tier. Inside, Zhang Ruixin and Jiang Lin are exhausted, cornered by beasts and a mysterious foe. At their darkest moment, Lin Han and Senior Feng smash through to rescue them. Jiang Lin panics, yelling for them to run. The enemy is too strong. He reveals the foe is a sovereign-tier expert. Staying means certain death. The mysterious man sneers and lunges to kill Jiang Lin first. Lin Han intercepts, refusing to watch a teammate die. Too fast, his blade still pierces Jiang Lin's body. Zhang Ruixin screams in agony at the sight. She loses reason and tries to charge the enemy. Lin Han knocks her out instantly to stop a suicide rush. He also knocks out Senior Feng to keep her from joining a hopeless fight. Placing them safely aside, he apologizes. What comes next will be brutal. Then Lin Han turns back, eyes icy. He declares he knocked him out so he can kill without distraction. The sovereign laughs at a gold tier daring to threaten him. Calmly, Lin Han mentions his mysterious master, probing for reaction. The man assures him no one else exists within 5 kilometers. Lin Han mocks him as low-ranking within the Blood Moon cult. He adds that such men are mere hounds used by the cult. Pride stung, the man admits the cult worships ruthless survival of the fittest. Realizing Lin Han is stalling, he declares the fight ends now. Lin Han sighs theatrically and asks his name, as if honoring a final duel. The sovereign announces himself and immediately charges to finish Lin Han. Lin Han dodges swiftly and leaps high to counterattack. He deliberately lures the fight away from the cave to avoid collapsing the mountain on his allies. They face off on open ground, free of collateral victims. Lin Han's sole thought: kill him to avenge Jiang Lin. Lightning crackles around him as he casts the forbidden spell Thunder 8 trigrams, shaking heaven and earth. The sovereign is horrified. This power brushes king tier despite Lin Han being gold tier. No longer arrogant, he unleashes the forbidden demon god domain. Recognizing the move, Lin Han still charges forward with thunderclad fists. The two forbidden spells collide, unleashing a devastating shockwave that rocks the entire land. The sovereign stares in shock. Lin Han just unleashed a real forbidden spell. Lin Han coolly replies, if you can use one, so can I. After trading blows, the man starts suspecting Shishin Chong truly died by Lin Han's hand. Don't hiding, Lin Han activates his second-class form. Demon Sun aura erupts as he rockets skyward for a finishing strike. Fully transformed into world-shocking Demon Sun, his demonic presence shakes the battlefield. He blitzes forward with terrifying speed, chaining lethal attacks. The sovereign panics. The power before him exceeds all expectations. Roaring, he casts the forbidden spell Myriad Legion, borrowing the war god's might. The counterattack shatters Lin Han's guard, sending him flying, blood dripping but eyes still icy. Wiping the blood, Lin Han admits he underestimated his foe. The man grows suspicious. How does Lin Han know the Blood Moon cult's demon god secrets? Meanwhile, Lin Han senses the demon god domain suppressing his Demon Sun power. Seeing the demonic transformation, the sovereign questions Lin Han's identity. Lin Han coldly denies any link to the Blood Moon cult. The man insists such blood aura belongs only to their class. Realizing too much has been exposed, Lin Han stops holding back. The sovereign grows more agitated at Lin Han's monstrous talent. He declares the academy would never accept someone with such a secret. So he tempts Lin Han join the Blood Moon cult, the only refuge. Lin Han slaps his hand away, scorning them as bloodthirsty devils. The man laughs, calling Lin Han a narrow-minded product of a weak empire. He boasts the cult's elite surpass any imperial force. He warns that if Lin Han's secret leaks, the world will reject him. Killing intense surges, only the man's death conceal the secret. Lin Han charges, declaring the battle ends now. His thunder fist descends so fast it shocks the sovereign. Without pause, Lin Han presses the assault in fury. Their clashes quake the earth repeatedly. Even the sovereign admits Lin Han is monstrously difficult. In Demon Sun frenzy, Lin Han nearly loses control, consumed by the urge to tear him apart. He even lunges to bite the man's shoulder like a rabid beast. The sovereign recoils in pain and horror at this feral Lin Han. Sharp teeth rip flesh from his shoulder, blood spraying. Disgusted, Lin Han spits the flesh out and roars again. Seeing this madness, the sovereign knows staying means death. He turns to flee. Lin Han hunts right behind. Suddenly, a colossal sky-piercing python emperor appears, exuding peak sovereign pressure. Its tail swats Lin Han into the sky like a rag doll. It then fixes its gaze on the fleeing sovereign, who trembles and begs. His duel instantly becomes a desperate hunt beneath the giant beast. At dawn, a battered Lin Han limps back to the battlefield. He knows without the life-forbidden spell, he'd be dead. Returning, he finds teammates mourning over Zhang Lin's body. Lin Han vows his death will not be meaningless. A forest-shaking explosion erupts as Du Wanting runs out in panic, crying for help. Gongsun Liangxi freezes at the sight of something massive charging their way. Du Wanting recognizes a peak sovereign sky-piercing python emperor chasing someone. Fearing it's Zhang Lin who once covered their retreat, she recklessly rushes toward it. Meanwhile, Li Dan sprints for his life, screaming for backup. A Blood Moon cult expert arrives just in time, stomping onto the python's head to block it. He berates Li Dan for dragging the heaven-piercing python emperor here, and nearly wrecking the cult leader's master plan. Li Dan hurriedly begs, swearing his intel is top tier and totally worth it. The man half believes him and volunteers to stall the giant snake so Li Dan can bolt. But just as Li Dan tries to slip away, Gongsun Liangxi and her squad block his exit. Gongsun Liangxi immediately declares her identity from Changqi Academy. She icily demands to know Zhang Lin's fate, and the air tightens like a drawn bow. Li Dan sneers that Zhang Lin has already been personally escorted to see King Yama. Hearing this, Gongsun Liangxi explodes in fury and charges. From afar, Lin Han watches it all and realizes Li Dan knows far too many of his secrets. He decides letting Li Dan live would be a spoiler alert waiting to happen. Lin Han orders Zhang Rixin and Feng Junxin to head back and report. He insists on going after Gongsun Liangxi, no hero left behind. Knowing Li Dan is terrifyingly strong, Lin Han opts to use his free divine mask identity. Mask on, he dives straight into the battlefield. Meanwhile, Zhang Rixin secretly makes a call for backup. On the field, Gongsun Liangxi fights all out but is still overwhelmed by Li Dan. Li Dan effortlessly subdues Xiao Ji and mocks them for being pathetically weak. He eyes Du Wanting and decides to kill her first to end the game. A trident flies with lethal intent straight at Du Wanting. Despairing, she closes her eyes, knowing she can't dodge this one. At the last second, a hand blocks the strike. Masked Lin Han arrives just in time. He instantly activates a skill, energy erupting across the battlefield. A surge of vitality floods everyone, healing them on the spot. Realizing the mysterious savior just saved their lives, the group quickly thanks him. Lin Han coldly tells them to leave. This place is about to become a real war zone. Li Dan scoffs, clearly not planning to let anyone walk away. He lunges forward, aiming to kill the mysterious meddler first. Lin Han blocks with an energy barrier, buying time for his teammates to escape. Thanks to that, Gongsun Liangxi and the others retreat safely. Seeing the absurd healing, Li Dan guesses Lin Han is some kind of support class. The two clash instantly, weapons colliding in a shower of sparks. Spotting the tree-blade sword, Li Dan starts doubting his opponent's true identity. But at a critical moment, Lin Han's sword is shattered, and things turn dicey. Just then, a new figure appears and kicks Li Dan away, saving Lin Han. The black-clad woman unleashes a flurry of deadly slashes, clearly aiming to finish Li Dan on the spot. Gravely wounded and gasping, Li Dan struggles to defend and demands to know who she is. She coldly names herself Fei Hua Zhang Ruying and declares her sole mission today is his death. Realizing a quick kill won't be easy, Zhang Ruying asks Lin Han to assist in finishing him. After striking a quick deal with Lin Han, Zhang Ruying decides to team up. Objective: eliminate Li Dan. Lin Han knocks Li Dan back with a shield ring while Zhang Ruying unleashes a killing strike he can't react to. Seeing the enemy exhausted, Lin Han steps on Li Dan and raises his blade for a clean execution. But just as the blade is about to fall, a massive forest explosion forces Lin Han to pause. From a distance, he sees a Blood Moon cult member battling the heaven-piercing python fiercely. Noticing the supreme-level poison mist of the python emperor spreading, Lin Han realizes Mang Mountain's border is doomed if ignored. With no time to waste, Lin Han leaves Li Dan to Zhang Ruying and rushes off. On the way, he calculates that helping the python against the Blood Moon cult could turn an enemy into an ally. Arriving, he sees a man surnamed Li preparing a colossal palm strike to kill the heaven-piercing python. At that instant, a bolt of lightning crashes down and shatters the attack mid-cast. His move interrupted, the man roars warily, demanding to know who dares interfere. Lin Han reveals his true identity and bluntly declares he's here to kill him for being Blood Moon cult. Beneath the crimson sunset, Li Feng stands before the two, eyes cold as if this were mere entertainment. Cornered, Li Feng hurriedly proposes teaming up with the python to kill the enemy first. The heaven-piercing python hesitates, then nods bitterly, accepting its role in this human mess. Realizing the duo plans to cooperate, the Blood Moon cultist strikes first to ruin the script. As he charges, the heaven-piercing python emperor's massive tail sweeps across and blocks him cold. The serpent roars, pinning the foe and signaling Li Feng to prep his ultimate move. Getting the hint, Li Feng draws his divine staff and activates the forbidden spell Primordial Domain and Doomsday Judgment. Elsewhere, Li Dan drops to his knees, begging to trade Lin Han's secrets for his life. At the word secret, Zhang Ruying removes her mask, intrigued enough to hear him out. Li Dan blurts that Lin Han is Blood Moon cult, with a second class and 3 grand forbidden spells. The moment he finishes, Zhang Ruying cuts him down. Those who know too much get deleted. After killing Li Dan, a dusty gust carrying a familiar aura draws her attention. Looking toward the peak, she spots a forbidden spell identical to one Lin Han's master used. Suspicion unlocked. On the summit, Li Feng stands tall like a god about to pass judgment. He summons void chains to bind the enemy, kickstarting the judgment spell. The foe casually waves a hand and shatters the chains like cheap props. He then blasts the heaven-piercing Python Emperor's tail, slamming the giant snake into the ground. Bursting back up, the serpent roars and counterattacks to widen the gap. Seizing the moment, Li Feng fires a barrage of magic arrows to end it. As the dust clears, the enemy still stands, smirking. Danger level skyrockets. He leaps skyward, preparing a devastating counter meant to erase Li Feng. Two colossal palm strikes crash down too fast for Li Feng to dodge. At the brink, Zhang Ruiying suddenly appears, shielding him from the blow. She shatters both palm strikes instantly, saving Li Feng from certain death. Noticing the new intruder, the Blood Moon cultist accelerates, aiming to drop Zhang Ruiying before she can sync up. A sudden midair palm strike hits her, knocking her off balance and out of the battlefield. Seeing her fall, Li Feng dives after her, catching her and urgently asking if she can still fight. No breathing room, the cultist roars and charges, demanding they state their names before he wipes them out. Zhang Ruiying looks at Li Feng with a half-smile, hinting she has figured out his true identity from that forbidden spell. Dropping the pretense, she raises her sword and declares herself Fei Ha Zhang Ruiying, aura blazing. Li Feng squeezes her hand in thanks for saving him again, yet knows Li Dan's strength far exceeds expectations. Before they finish talking, the cultist loses patience and swings his hammer, forcing them back into battle. He roars and activates the forbidden spell world-ending Tathagata, power building to crush the entire field. Knowing they can't let it complete, Zhang Ruiying charges, dragging Li Feng into a joint ultimate. She unleashes Fei Hua, countless razor petals spiraling into a deadly storm at Li Dan. Li Feng summons lightning and a rain of magic arrows, cornering the foe. Under relentless assault, Li Dan's defenses crack, pushing him into desperate defense. Seeing the battered enemy, Li Feng urges a final push to end it now. But just as victory seems near, Li Dan grins wickedly. Everything is going according to plan. He completes world-ending Tathagata, forbidden chains from the void instantly binding Li Feng. Realizing Li Feng is about to die, Zhang Ruiying throws herself in front, taking the fatal blow instead. The massive explosion sends her flying, but Li Feng catches her before she hits the ground. Holding her broken body, Li Feng burns with fury and grief, unable to fathom why she risked it all for him. Without hesitation, he casts a life-forbidden spell, pouring everything into saving her. Seeing this, Li Dan sneers and demands surrender or he'll end up just like the girl. Rage explodes as Li Feng reveals his second form and orders the heaven-piercing Python Emperor to retreat. One look at that form makes Li Dan tremble, recognizing him as the demon son the cult leader seeks. Enraged further, Li Feng vows to devour the entire Blood Moon cult, starting with him. He charges with flaming claws, marking Li Dan as the first sacrifice to his fury. Half terrified, half greedy, Li Dan tries, luring him back to the cult. Capturing the demon son would be a grand merit. Li Feng scoffs, says he's unqualified to negotiate, and keeps attacking. The overwhelming aura shift makes Li Dan tremble, arrogance gone without a trace. Li Feng unleashes the Demon God Codex domain, peak supreme pressure engulfing the battlefield. Seeing 3 Blood Moon forbidden spells at once, Li Dan realizes he's facing a true monster. Li Feng grins like a beast, eyeing his foe as nothing more than power waiting to be devoured. Cornered, Li Dan erupts with full strength, swearing he'll kill even the demon son if needed. He activates Demon God Codex field, merging into shadows in a grotesque form. 2 demon-shaped monsters collide, Li Dan slamming down a massive palm to crush him. Li Feng doesn't dodge, eyes wild as if savoring the life-or-death pressure. Li Dan laughs, claiming immortality in blood mist form. Physical attacks mean nothing. At his cockiest moment, Li Feng bursts through the blood mist and closes in. One heavy punch makes Li Dan cough blood, utterly baffled at being hurt. He tries turning into mist again but finds his regeneration crippled. As Li Dan panics over fading blood energy, Li Feng greedily absorbs every strand around the field. Despairing, Li Dan realizes Lin Han is devouring the blood energy he cultivated for years and screams in horror. Unwilling to lose his cultivation, he charges madly, cursing and trying to stop the greedy thief. Lin Han answers with a claw that pierces his defense, slamming him face first into the blood-soaked ground. Licking blood from his fingers, Lin Han's eyes gleam like a predator who's found dinner. Mind gone, he approaches with bared fangs, ready to feast. At that moment, Zhang Ruiying awakens and witnesses the terrifying scene. Hearing movement, Li Dan begs in panic. He knows the monster is about to eat him. Seeing Lin Han's grotesque form, Zhang Ruiying shivers, not grasping what's happening. She quickly realizes this is the sinister second class Li Dan mentioned. The problem, Lin Han has completely lost reason, friend and foe indistinguishable. After ripping armor from Li Dan's corpse, his greedy gaze shifts to Zhang Ruiying. Driven by bloodlust, he grabs her shoulders as if spotting better prey. Fangs sink into her shoulder, yet Zhang Ruiying hugs him tight, calling Lin Han's name to pull him back. She cups his face, insisting the real Lin Han would never harm friends. She reminds him of the man who saves strangers, urging him to remember himself before power consumes him. Zhang Ruiying declares as a miracle, an undefeated legend, and her only friend. Then she suddenly kisses him, the shock clearing Lin Han's eyes like waking from a nightmare. Both flustered, Lin Han's body trembles violently as the inner power still rebels. Zhang Ruiying supports him anxiously, asking if he's truly regained control. Lin Han pushes her away, telling her to run. He feels himself slipping again. Knowing staying would distract him, Zhang Ruiying leaves despite deep worry. Alone, Lin Han studies the glowing patterns on his hand and deliberately summons the evil consciousness for a chat. He declares that if it doesn't show up, he'll self-destruct and end everything. In his mindscape, the demon appears, tempting him eat Zhang Ruiying, and they'll merge forever. Lin Han roars a flat no, he will never harm his friend. The demon keeps sweet-talking, promising supreme power above all if he obeys. Lin Han coldly refuses, saying if he suppressed it once, he can do it 1,000 times. The demon scoffs, claiming a weakling like him can't control such power. By the law of the strong devouring the weak, it should be the body's true master. Lin Han bluntly replies that if he can't control it, he'll destroy the body altogether. The demon panics if the body dies, both consciousnesses vanish. Lin Han remains resolute, better death than letting a monster use him for evil. He summons a lightning forbidden spell, ready to strike himself down. Heavenly lightning crashes into his body, turning negotiations into a literal death gamble. Outside, Zhang Ruiying rushes over in horror at the self-called thunder. Inside, both are gravely wounded, and the demon starts begging him to stop. Lin Han presses the advantage, offering only 2 choices: submit or die together. He raises a lightning sphere for a final threat, forcing the monster to bow. Facing true erasure, the demon finally trembles and submits. Having temporarily suppressed it, Lin Han's body hits its limit and his consciousness fades. Zhang Ruiying catches him before he collapses, frantically calling his name. He manages a weak smile, saying has subdued the monster, at least it won't hurt her again. With that, he passes out completely in her arms, leaving her calling his name in panic. Days later in a recovery room, Ruo Xin visits and tenses at the sight of Lin Han still unconscious. She bluntly says She's here because he once saved her life, thanking Zhang Ruiying for saving him in time. Zhang Ruiying looks at her sister, now a peak golden assassin, with quiet pride. But when asked why she left the Zhang family, she refuses to explain, angering her sister further. She only says the time isn't right, widening the rift between them. Ruo Xin explodes, calling her a traitor for leaving without explanation. Zhang Ruiying stays calm, hoping one day her sister learns the truth and leaves the Zhang family. Avoiding further argument, she leaps out the window, leaving her furious sister behind. On a nearby rooftop, a powerhouse has been silently observing everything. The man greets Zhang Ruiying, saying the academy will remember her merit at the border. She sharply questions why a Cyan-rank powerhouse stood by while Mang Mountain nearly fell. He sighs, explaining he had to guard the academy and couldn't leave his post. She coldly reminds him that without Lin Han's sacrifice, Mang Mountain and Hangyun City would be hell. She asks if he'd still call it all past if the worst had happened. After she leaves, the man notices someone else eavesdropping. Su Zhongtian steps out, revealing suspicions of a high-level imperial mole aiding the Blood Moon cult. The man replies that without evidence, no conclusions can be drawn. Su Zhongtian adds that intel shows signs of the calamity appearing in Mang Mountain. The man gazes toward the distant border, knowing it will soon become a new battlefield. A month later in the hospital room, Lin Han finally wakes to the team's cheers. Hearing he was out for a full month and nearly died, Lin Han can only give an awkward grin again with the life-risking. But recalling that out-of-control kiss with Zhang Ruiying, his mind instantly turns into chaos. He hurriedly asks where Zhang Ruiying is, having no clue how to face her. Du Wanting says She's returned to the army after taking special leave just to save him. Scanning his teammates, Lin Han senses their auras have completely transformed. Du Wanting proudly announces she's now a golden tier 1000 changes mage. Yuan Si boasts has reached peak golden assassin. Gong Sunlian jokes she's become a golden merchant, earning team laughter. Even the slowest member is at peak diamond, just one step from gold. Lin Han sighs 1 month unconscious and everyone's had a glow-up. Gong Sun explains they're preparing for the 5 Academies tournament to compete for 20 of Academy resources. Hearing massive rewards, Lin Han instantly wants in. Just then Tianyi and Tianer visit, and the room turns lively. Lin Han bluntly invites them to join the team for the Academy showdown. Tianyi perks up immediately at the mention of huge resources. Tianer teases that if he wants her in, he must take her shopping first. But the moment Lin Han leaves the hospital, a mysterious figure waits at the gate. Tianer waves brightly at the freshly discharged Lin Han, lightening the mood. She jokes they must celebrate big he survived Mang Mountain's death run. Suddenly, Lin Han feels chills as countless eyes lock onto him. The crowd erupts, people recognize the hero of Mang Mountain and swarm for autographs. Tianer laughs, explaining his Mang Mountain feat made him a citywide idol. Unused to being mobbed, Lin Han grabs Tianer and bolts before things spiral. While fleeing, he spots a narrow alley perfect for losing the crowd. Without explanation, he pulls Tianer into the alley to dodge the fanatic fans. They slip into the narrow lane as the crowd rushes past unaware. Lin Han presses her against the wall to shield them from view. He whispers for silence. Tianer blushes at the dangerously close distance. Seeing her flustered, Lin Han thinks she's overheated and checks on her, making it worse. Once safe, he suggests taking another route to avoid the chaos. They continue walking and accidentally stop before a massive commercial building. Tianer recognizes it as TNC Mall, managed by Director Liu. She suggests browsing, while Lin Han decides to visit Director Liu. Director Liu warmly welcomes Lin Han after his long coma. Lin Han jokes about visiting right after waking, keeping the mood friendly. Outside, 2 guards wonder why the director is so respectful to a young man. Learning has Lin Han the Mang Mountain hero awarded by the Empire, they're stunned. Inside, Director Liu secretly presents a legendary weapon left by Fei Hua for Lin Han. Hearing its name, Lin Han realizes it's loot from Li Dan's corpse. But Director Liu says Fei Hua left something even more important for him. He hands Lin Han a letter containing a map marked with a red X at a mysterious location. Seeing it near Mang Mountain, Lin Han suspects a clue tied to the calamity. Learning the letter was sent a month ago, he realizes the outbreak is imminent. Without delay, Lin Han heads for Mang Mountain's border before it's too late. At the border, a shadow slips past guard posts under cover of night. It's Lin Han masked and disguised to avoid recognition. Venturing deep into the forest, he activates Eye of God to trace the calamity's source. Soon he spots a floating purple flame, a clear sign of the calamity core. Luckily, it hasn't erupted yet, so there's still time to act. Lin Han descends into a massive pit where the abnormal energy is most concentrated. The moment he lands, Lin Han hears voices chatting above. Realizing others beat him here, he immediately hides and listens in. A master insists a forbidden spell battle once happened here, so this must be the calamity site. A girl named Xingni says she risked everything to help her brother reach the golden sacrificial rite. The master warns that evolution path is a life-or-death gamble, fail and you're dead. Yet Xingni begs to seize the calamity source as her brother's only hope. Finally, the master decides to activate the immature calamity to capture it. Feeling the ground quake, Lin Han realizes someone is triggering the calamity early. The earth splits open, violent light erupting, the calamity core is forming. Knowing the treasure is emerging, Lin Han dives into the pit to snatch it first. At the academy, the vice principal senses forbidden spell fluctuations at Mang Mountain and orders evacuation. On site, the old master tells Xingni to stay back, the calamity core could erupt any time. Suddenly, a figure crashes in and breaks their formation. It's Lin Han. Without a word, he bombards the barrier, stunning and enraging the old master. The master warns breaking it will trigger the calamity and bury them alive, but it's too late. Lin Han coldly declares he will claim this calamity source no matter what. Xingni angrily calls him shameless for stealing others' fortune. Lin Han fires back that they ruined his ambush plan first. Don't arguing, he charges straight into the calamity center. Sensing collapse, the old master drags Xingni out of the danger zone. Facing the calamity source, Lin Han's eyes blaze treasure at last. Just as he reaches it, a sneak attack strikes from behind. With razor reflexes, Lin Han barely dodges. Activating Eye of God, he sees the full trajectory instantly. Recognizing the master and disciple as attackers, he curses them outright. But he quickly realizes the real target was the calamity source behind him. If that strike lands, the calamity will erupt and everyone dies together. No choice left, Lin Han gathers lightning to intercept. He casts the forbidden spell Thunder Capture, blasting into the incoming attack. The collision shakes the earth violently, rocks collapsing everywhere. Above ground, the old master realizes the man below is no pushover. Amid the collapsing earth, Lin Han coughs blood but clutches the treasure tightly. Seeing the calamity source subdued, he laughs triumphantly. But then another surge of energy erupts from deeper underground. Lin Han freezes, the first source is captured, yet fluctuations continue. Looking closer, he senses the true tremor comes from even deeper layers. Activating Eye of God again, he searches for the new energy source. Above, Xingni pales, sensing an even stronger calamity awakening. In the depths, Lin Han finds a radiant orb, the second calamity source. Without hesitation, he dives deeper to seize this fortune too. Approaching it, he feels overwhelming power pressing down. Ignoring violent shockwaves, he charges straight at the core. A protective barrier appears, but Lin Han is determined to break it. He explodes his physical strength 10,000-fold to force his way closer. As energy corrodes his hand, he counters with a healing forbidden spell. Roaring through the pain, he forcefully subdues the second calamity source. On the mountaintop, the old master closes his eyes and coldly says Lin Han is about to surface. As he finishes speaking, Lin Han bursts from the rocks, drawing their attention. The old man shouts in shock, how is someone buried alive still standing? Lin Han stays calm, warning there in the Xinglong Empire don't overstep. The old master sneers, claiming even a saint of Hangyun isn't qualified to stop him. The old man unleashes terrifying saint-level pressure, demanding Lin Han hand over the calamity origin. Facing a saint realm aura, Lin Han realizes this is the strongest foe has ever met. Even so, he grits his teeth and declares they'll have to earn the treasure by skill. He immediately opens a dark domain, vanishing without a trace. Even the old man is startled, his aura is completely undetectable. He orders Xingni to use her special class to track the hidden target. Xingni casts a spell, activating Eye of Truth to pierce illusions. Yet she only sees a fading afterimage where he vanished, no real trace. The old man senses something off and deduces Lin Han never left. Laughing loudly, he throws a punch straight at the afterimage's spot. Exposed, Lin Han is forced to block in shock. The clash reveals him and sends him flying backward. Hovering midair, the old man again demands the calamity origin. Lin Han snaps back, it's his loot, no refunds. Xingni fumes that without his interference, they'd have claimed it first. Lin Han scoffs, fortune and danger goes to the strong, not the whiny. Losing patience, the old man declares violence the only solution. He charges with a punch, and Lin Han meets it head-on. Fist meets fist, each collision booming across the region. During the fight, Lin Han keeps casting healing forbidden spells to sustain himself. The old man fights while praising his multi-element skills and absurd recovery. But Lin Han knows dragging this out means using his demon god transformation trump card. He tries to retreat, but the old man blocks his path instantly. Coldly, the old man warns that further stubbornness means death. Lin Han secretly prepares to transform into demon god form for a desperate counter. Just then, a majestic voice echoes from afar, halting the battle. The vice principal appears midair, warning the old man to leave the Xinglong Empire. The old man insists he'll depart once he gets the calamity origin. The vice principal retorts that a calamity born on Xinglong soil won't go to the Meiki Empire. He even threatens to have the disciple hunted across the empire if they persist. He declares Lin Han the hero of Mang Mountain and under absolute protection. Seeing the tide against him, the old man sneers and agrees to withdraw. He leaves with Xingni to Lin Han's surprise. On the way, he explains he won't risk his disciple being hunted over this. The vice principal thanks the mysterious senior who aided the Mang Mountain campaign. Lin Han pretends to be his own master, then quickly slips away before exposure. Back at Changqi Academy, a familiar figure appears hinting drama between Lin Han and Zhang Ruixin. Zhang Ruixin waits outside the male dorm for hours, drawing teasing and making Lin Han suspect she's here for him. When he shows up, she approaches with trembling eyes, clearly rehearsed yet struggling to speak. She finally admits that without Lin Han's life-risking rescue at Mang Mountain, she would be here. Grateful and flustered, she hurriedly wishes him victory in the 5 Academies tournament and runs off. She disappears despite his calls, too embarrassed to let him see her blushing face. Watching her panicked retreat, Lin Han scratches his head. She's nothing like her usual calm self. Half a month later, the 5 Academies tournament finals begin at the academy. From prelims to semifinals, Lin Han barely fights, letting teammates test their true strength. Yuan Sai taunts the opponents, claiming 4 of them are enough, no need for the captain. Insulted, both sides trade sharp words, and the arena tension snaps tight as a bowstring. As the referee shouted go, all eyes locked onto Lin Han's team like it was the main event. Lin Han casually let his teammates handle it, even urging a quick win like he'd bought a spectator ticket. He straight up lay down for a nap, turning the finals into a live comedy show for the enemy. Zhuge Tianfeng ground his teeth, feeling slapped in the face by that level of disrespect. Yuan Si kicked things off, blitzing through the first defense line with absurd speed. Spotting Lin Han slacking, the enemy captain ordered 3 men to circle around and pin him first. Du Wanning unleashed blazing vine tendrils, fiery creepers locking down the field and squeezing the rival mage. Gongsun Liangxi stood guard, declaring anyone wanting their captain had to step over him first. Seeing hesitation, Gongsun taunted them hard, daring them to charge or admit cowardice. Teng Jinqi gathered lightning in his palm, signaling a numeracy mage showdown. A lightning bolt crashed down as a warning this match had no exit button. An enemy blade warrior charged in fury, while Gongsun grinned at the weapon duel he'd been craving. Elsewhere, Du Wanding stalled 2 foes at once, dragging all the pressure onto herself. Teng Jinqi spotted a weaker mage and smirked for a lightning user like him. This was child's play. Yuan Si zipped around provocatively, convinced no one could ever catch him. But Zhuge Tianfeng caught a flaw at Yuan Si's cockiest moment and instantly signaled the strike. A gold-tier opponent suddenly blocked the escape route, proving they were no pushovers. Yuan Si was yanked down before reacting, his baiting plan backfiring spectacularly. With Yuan Si restrained, they chose the classic tactic: capture the leader, clean up later. Zhuge Tianfeng charged at Lin Han, convinced a support healer couldn't be that scary. He roared Lin Han's name, turning personal grudges into a public duel. Lin Han slowly rose, admitting he didn't want to act, but persistence had limits. He offered one punch. If Zhuge Tianfeng survived it, he'd concede. Utterly insulted, Zhuge Tianfeng attacked in rage, determined to expose the boastful healer. Lin Han smiled calmly and threw a simple punch. No skills needed with that power gap. The plain punch exploded with monstrous force, blasting Zhuge Tianfeng into the arena corner. The enemy froze as the mere healer one-shot their captain. Lin Han pointed at the unconscious captain and casually asked if they still wished to continue. Leaderless and demoralized, the enemy team surrendered like a headless snake. Lin Han scratched his head, sighing he'd meant to stay low-key but ended up revealing his strength. The entire academy was shaken, realizing Lin Han might even contend for the top spot. After the team match, the vice principal secretly summoned Lin Han, hinting the solo champion prize could change his fate. He warned him to keep quiet. The reward was so rare it could throw the academy into chaos. Under blazing sunlight, the Changqi Academy solo finals officially began. The organizers revealed an extraordinary grand prize, valuable enough to make every student see red. Rumors swirled it might be the Calamity Origin, a strategic-level treasure of extreme rarity. Unsure but tempted, Lin Han dove into the melee. If it truly was Calamity Origin, he had to claim it. A confident opponent blocked his path, dreaming of glory through defeating Lin Han. Lin Han simply flicked a finger, sending the challenger flying off the arena to everyone's shock. The crowd exploded at the one-hit finish, chanting Hange across the stands. Though acting lazy, Lin Han's eyes turned icy. This championship was non-negotiable. He was now a level 38 third-turn golden priest with stats so bloated they broke the mold. Zhang Ruixin stepped up to challenge him, eager to measure their gap after so long. Her punch cracked the arena floor, but Lin Han casually dodged and critiqued her form. Watching outside, Yuan Si could only gape. His boss had leveled up again. Mid-fight, Lin Han forced Zhang Ruixin to attack like a true assassin, pushing her past her fear. After testing her, he admitted her growth, but the crown wasn't up for charity. A simple forehead flick sent Zhang Ruixin flying off the stage in seconds. The moment he stopped, someone sneak attacked from behind for cheap advantage. Lin Han spun like lightning, grabbed the culprit, and tossed him off like trash. 2 eliminations back-to-back made the rest realize things were going south fast. Tired of slow picks, Lin Han decided to end it with real power. When he drew his staff, the arena buzzed. Golden Priest was finally casting. He raised it skyward and summoned lightning myriad fury, engulfing the entire arena. Thunder rained down mercilessly, sending opponents scrambling and begging to surrender. 1-0 later, nearly everyone was fried flat on the floor. Lin Han sheepishly said it held back, otherwise it'd have been a true forbidden spell. The audience was stunned, since when could a priest wield lightning like that? Amid the fallen, senior sister Tianni stood firm, eyeing Lin Han with intrigue. Lin Han awkwardly claimed he only knew one attack spell. Nobody bought it. Tianni charged fiercely, forcing him to raise a shield. Her strike shattered the barrier in a blink. She warned that if he kept holding back, he'd be the one flying off next. Her sweeping slash split the arena air, barely dodged by Lin Han. They clashed head-on, each blow heavy enough to shake the platform. Blocking her devastating strike, Lin Han admitted without his tenfold physique boost, had be done. Acknowledging her strength, he activated enhancement, boosting all stats by 50%. Tianni instantly felt crushing pressure. The Golden Priest's amplified power was terrifying. As her weapon cracked, Lin Han's iron fist shot forward, and she knew this was bad. Tianni closed her eyes for the Dai Wei Isher, but Lin Han stopped and asked if she surrendered, earning her respectful nod. Half a month later, news of Lin Han collecting 3 calamity origins set the academy ablaze. After relentless training, he reached level 39 third turn, ready for his 4th turn advancement. He calmly applied for the advancement quest, yet his name alone thrilled the staff. Seeing a Golden Priest about to 4th turn, the clerk felt shed meta legend. She handed over the quest orb, internally screaming at witnessing the world's only Golden Priest. The quest revealed itself in Shrank mission to solo 300 waves of wraiths at Wuling Mountain. Without hesitation, Lin Han dashed through treacherous mountain paths to the dungeon gate. The Golden Light dungeon opened once daily at shifting spots. 1 step late meant 0 chance. As the gate opened, countless class users surged in, desperate for advantage. Yet in the chaos, Lin Han outpaced them all, a human hurricane. Realizing it was Golden Priest Lin Han, the crowd outside was floored, a priest moving like a speed demon. He landed in Wuling Mountain's thick mist, where ancient resentment still choked the air. The system's first task: find the gravely injured mountain god amid the surging, golden-armored wraiths. Lin Han followed footprints, guessing the mountain god was nearby. Before long, wraiths howled and lunged, eager to devour the intruder. 1 energy-packed punch later, the mob vanished in a blink. Tracing the signs, he found the mountain god collapsed on the icy ground. The mountain god begged for help. If the wraiths escaped Wuling, millions would suffer. As the second task activated, the first wave of wraiths began its charge. Their shrieks signaled Wave 1 had officially begun. The mountain god cast a 30L attribute buff to aid Lin Han. Deciding this wasn't the place to hide strength, Lin Han went all out. He stacked buffs and unleashed lightning and wind domains, detonating his magic power. The mountain god hurled fireballs in support, holding the line together. Thunder and flame fused, erasing the first wave instantly. Not letting them regroup, Lin Han poured lightning into the next assault. A roaring thunderstrike crushed the swarm in seconds. Outside the dungeon, the system announced Lin Han had triggered Wuling Mountain's hidden quest. The truth emerged: the mountain god sought to clear the injustice of golden-armored soldiers turned wraiths. Lin Han was stunned. His advancement quest had unlocked a massive hidden storyline. The mountain god suggested investigating the army's old camp for the curse's source. Entering the deep forest, a sinister laugh echoed. The mastermind was waiting. Studying the soldiers, Lin Han realized they hadn't died in battle but from calamity or curse. The mountain god confirmed a Elinge Kingdom sorcerer had cursed them into an undead legion. The warlock cackled. He planned to seize the entire kingdom with this ghost army. At that moment, the Warsaw Legion activated, ready to deploy. Platinum Boss Yan Shuai, the golden-armored marshal, appeared terrifying in swordplay and formations. Without hesitation, Lin Han dove in and slammed a thunderous punch from above, flooring the marshal. In his last lucid moment, Yan Shuai begged Lin Han to destroy his soul and free his men. Quest complete, the system offered a choice: leave with small rewards or risk it all to slay the golden-armored marshal for a grand prize. The mountain god urged retreat. The platinum marshal was too dangerous. Lin Han flatly refused, activating domains and buffs, treating the platinum boss as a minor hurdle. He charged into the marshal's soul, tearing apart the festering resentment with lightning. In final clarity, the golden-armored marshal smiled in gratitude, finally liberated. The mountain god congratulated Lin Han for clearing the entire dungeon trial. Grand rewards arrived: summoned golden-armored war souls, the weapon Rising Dragon Sword, and the Star Dragon Dynasty token. The dungeon space began shifting, linking toward the Mang Mountain border. Suddenly someone screamed, pointing at Mang Mountain as something massive approached. A colossal beast tide roared forward, sending everyone into panic. Emergency alerts rang out. The beast tide had begun attacking the border. In the advancement hall, Lin Han completed his 4th turn, becoming a Platinum Soul Ritualist. He gained new support skills and exclusive gear Soul Spirit, which absorbs souls to grow stronger. With his tenfold growth talent, Soul Spirit evolved new skills: Fading Oblivion and Soul Dominion, to control other souls. Not stopping there, Lin Han demanded the system amplify his newly gained golden-armored war soul skill. The results stunned him. The skill evolved into the forbidden spell Wuling Mountain Descends, summoning an entire undead legion. The advancement commotion was so huge everyone instantly knew the star was Lin Han. The crowd chased to glimpse the big shot, forcing Lin Han to slip away. 3 days later, Lin Han appeared near Hangyan City to investigate. He found the area cut off from all signals and eerily deserted. Very wrong. Then he spotted a familiar figure fleeing below. Jiang Ruxin was running in tears, chased by a monster. Exhausted and tripping, she thought this was the end. From above, Lin Han dropped a thunderous punch and blasted the beast away. He landed calmly as if it just swatted a fly. Seeing him, Jiang Ruxin burst into tears and hugged him tight. Rescue at last. She explained the Blood Moon cult had unleashed the beast tide and cut signals, isolating the region for 3 days. Hangyan City had fallen. Only Chanqi Academy was desperately holding out. Lin Han split the plan: seek reinforcements. While he returned to the academy, a ritualist was needed there. He sped toward the academy, knowing without breaking the blockade no help would arrive. Along the way, smoke and battle scars showed the disaster had spread wide. At Chanqi Academy's plaza, the air was suffocatingly tense. Countless monsters surrounded it, Blood Moon commanders riding on their backs. A cult powerhouse mocked the resisting elder, urging him to kneel. The old man refused through gritted teeth. Chunky would rather die than bow. Failing persuasion, the Blood Moon cult ordered the beast tied to attack. The defense shield cracked. The elder prepared to stay behind so students could flee. But the students refused to run and charged into battle with him. A Blood Moon protector laughed madly, vowing to erase Chunky Academy today. A Scientier expert condensed a massive dark orb to finish them all. As collapse loomed, Lin Han arrived and unleashed the forbidden spell Thunder Apex Myriad Fury onto the battlefield. Gigantic lightning obliterated beasts and instantly killed 2 Blood Moon elites. Upon landing, Lin Han stacked multiple forbidden buffs and elemental domains, overwhelming the field. The remaining demon was horrified who could activate that many forbidden spells at once. Ignoring him, Lin Han cast a forbidden healing spell over all wounded students. The near-fallen fully recovered, and the academy erupted in cheers at his return. The demon recognized Lin Han and understood why he was dangerous. He lunged with a devastating punch, aiming to kill Lin Han outright. Lin Han blocked but slid back. This foe was at least peak Saintier. The demon roared, empowering all beasts into greater frenzy. He tempted Lin Han to join the Blood Moon cult. Rejected, he chose total slaughter. As Lin Han prepared a counter-forbidden spell, the demon closed in and locked his staff. Unable to evade, Lin Han faced him head-on to prevent student casualties. The demon sneered, alone Lin Han couldn't protect anyone. Lin Han coldly declared he would protect everyone here. He activated a summoning forbidden spell, calling forth massive undead behind him. The demon froze, since when could a ritualist summon like this? The undead legion tore into the beasts, while Lin Han stood like a commander. The healed students rejoined the fight at once. The academy's morale exploded. They saw Lin Han single-handedly turning the tide. Cornered, the demon activated the Blood Moon Grand Array, draining beast blood to form a crimson moon. The sky darkened as the Blood Moon rose, crushing everyone under terrifying pressure. He unleashed the Demon King domain, swallowing the entire battlefield. The crushing pressure pinned everyone below, barely able to move. Inside, Lin Han's stats dropped 90% and his magic was sealed. The demon smugly declared that in his domain, Lin Han was prey awaiting death. Lin Han only sneered. Now the real fight began. He activated Demon God Transformation, releasing his second class and shattering the suppression. With crimson eyes and surging demonic aura, he no longer looked like a ritualist. The demon attacked ferociously, shaking Lin Han's body even in demon form. A single punch sent his HP plummeting, but his rapid regeneration dragged the bar back up. A brutal aerial kick slammed him again into critical health. The demon scoffed. Lin Han's demon class was still too weak. Desperate, Lin Han absorbed blood energy from the Blood Moon to recover. The demon roared in fury. His own Grand Array was being siphoned. He unleashed a barrage, driving Lin Han's HP down repeatedly. Yet Lin Han kept draining blood energy to cling to life. A dark voice whispered in his mind, tempting him to surrender his body for more power. As his HP hit 0, black wings burst out and Lin Han seized the demon's wrist with manic laughter. He crushed the demon's grip and madly drained his blood energy, turning him into a living battery. The demon shrieked in panic. If this continued, both would die. Lin Han laughed louder. If death came, he'd drag the enemy along. His HP surged back, but the system warned his energy exceeded bodily limits. Overload made his body tremble violently, clothes shredding apart. Meanwhile, the demon's life was sucked dry, his form dissolving as if devoured. A terrifying beam descended from the sky, the energy explosion engulfing the battlefield. When the smoke cleared, no one understood what had just happened. Gongsun Lian rushed over in panic and found Lin Han lying motionless. After checking, he despaired. Lin Han seemed to have stopped breathing. Just as hope faded, Lin Han's body twitched faintly. He weakly opened his eyes and joked at Gongsun Lian for not wiping tears on his clothes. Gongsun Lian cried and laughed at once Lin Han had survived. From that moment on, Lin Han's fame exploded, and the legend of the Empire's strongest ritualist began.